What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 7MF. Chapter 111 The Strongest Nine Swordsmen. The Scene of the Dead. Advertise here. Ink time. Only the three of Zoro rushed towards Charlotte Linlin. Facing the powerhouses of the four emperors level, the Zoro trio didn't dare to relax or despise them. Sword Ryu Ihe. The Black Sword is dead. The Lion, Song Song. Sword Ryu Ihe. Black Knife Dead. Lion Song Song. Johnny Joseph's two sabers were already covered with a layer of armament hockey, and they held the handle of the knife in both hands and slashed towards Charlotte Linlin. However, Charlotte Linlin did not panic at all. Seeing Johnny Joseph and the two attacked, she immediately raised the giant sword in her hand and Napoleon slashed. NS. The moves of Johnny Joseph were easily blocked by Charlotte Linlin with a flat A. Then Charlotte Linlin used her strange power and was shocked. With a bang, Johnny Joseph and the two flew out. But even after being bombarded, the two bought Zoro at least 1 second. Three swords flow profound, meaning Xinglong Yin flowing water. But seeing Zoro's figure emerges swiftly like a dragon. Roar. There were even a few sounds like a dragon cry. What? Zoro's figure flashed past, and immediately fell behind Charlotte Linlin. Only seeing Zoro's moves left 3 blood marks on Charlotte's body. A few strands of blood flowed out of the bloodstain. What? The cadres and pirates around were shocked. How is this going? Zoro's attack actually slashed Mom. What an armament hockey. These pirates were very surprised. Even Charlotte Linlin couldn't help frowning slightly. Can armament hockey cut my skin? It seems that Luen has taught you something very amazing. But this is not enough. With Charlotte's sneer. The 3 bloodstains on her body started to heal quickly. Charlotte's body is inherently strong in defense, so it is also called steel balloon, which is a powerful physique that is born with. Even if you don't use armament hockey for defense, normal attacks can't hurt her body. What a strong defense. Although this move slashed her body, it did not cause substantial harm to her at all. It's just a skin injury. Zoro murmured. It is true. Just now Zoro's attack only caused skin trauma to Charlotte, and did not cause substantial damage at all. At this time, Zoro, Johnny, and Joseph have also surrounded Charlotte Linlin in a triangle. Boss Zoro. This guy's skin is really hard. It's almost like the body of a monster. Johnny Joseph said solemnly. Zoro gritted his teeth and then screamed. Help me buy some time. The voice fell. Johnny Joseph and the two immediately looked way am I, and stopped talking nonsense, and rushed to Charlotte again. Combined attack skills. 2 swordsmanship. Second cut should go upstairs. Holding the handle of the knife in both hands, the two slammed into Charlotte Linlin again. There was a trace of impotentness in Charlotte's eyes. Thunderfire knife. A knife carrying the power of thunder and flames slashed towards Johnny Joseph. Boom. Accompanied by the sound of thunder. Puff. I only saw Johnny Joseph fly upside down again, but both of them spewed a mouthful of blood, and even the pupils of both eyes were almost dilated. Bang bang. Johnny Joseph fell heavily to the ground. Puff. Both of them were scorched black, and even their skins were covered with flesh. Their mouths spouted a puff of blood. It was obvious that both of them had suffered serious injuries. But at the same time, Zoro's figure has suddenly jumped up, and the 2 knives in his hand are spinning like a windmill version, and when they are spinning, they also generate an extremely strong airflow. 9 mountains and 8 seas, 1 world. Thousands of worlds will become small worlds. This world multiplies by 3, the one who has no selflessness. 3 swords style profound Yi Da 3000 Da Qian world. All 3 knives have been completely wrapped by armament hockey, which is close to the top level, and the entire blade is covered with powerful armament hockey. In the original work, Zoro used this trick to cut off the big rock giant with just 1 move. It can be seen that this trick is extremely powerful. Need time. Zoro's figure flashed past. Ink time. Blood and light splattered. However, 3 wounds appeared on Charlotte's chest, abdomen, and shoulders, and blood surged from the wounds. Puff. Step to step. Even Charlotte's body couldn't help but back up a few steps before standing still, then leaned back and roared. And Zoro just landed and gasped. When the pirates around saw this, their faces suddenly appeared shocked. What? I'm not mistaken, am I? Mom, she was hurt. How is this possible? I can't believe it. Mom, are you all right? There were even pirates shouting. Johnny Joseph and the two have already been injured and fell to the ground. It is quite gratifying to see Zoro's attack has worked. Cough cough cough. Zoro boss him. 0 for flowers. He really cut Big Mom. Puff. The 2 of them were directly injured by Charlotte's thunder knife. Both of them had been burned by lightning and flames, and they could even smell the smell of barbecue. What? Ming. Asshole. Damn it. Cut me. Charlotte growled frantically. The 3 wounds on his body have also begun to heal, at least the blood that is gushing has been stopped. She probably couldn't think of it anyway. Zoro's 3000 world moves could actually cut her in a real sense. Asshole. What? As the 4 emperors, she was cut through the defense by a hairy boy, which was a shame for her. The blood has stopped gushing, and the wound has healed quickly. But even if the wound has healed, it still leaves 3 scars, which is simply a shame for the powerhouse of the 4 emperors level. I only saw Charlotte's big hand and shouted, "Prometheus. Mom, I'm here." As the son Prometheus answered, a cluster of flames entangled the great sword in Charlotte's hand. Boom. Then Charlotte's huge figure suddenly jumped up again, and slashed towards Zoro. The Emperor's sword broken blade. The huge sword wrapped in flames slashed directly at Zoro. "Boss Zoro!" Johnny Joseph suddenly yelled. The two of them even clung to their bodies and climbed up again, and rushed in Zoro's direction. The body that had been injured once again spouted a puff of blood. Johnny Joseph and the two fell directly to the ground, and blood began to seep out from all over the body. Charlotte's figure fell from midair, holding the Emperor's sword wrapped in flames and had already slashed towards Zoro. Combined attack. Go to hell. A terrifying coldness once again rushed toward the surrounding direction. Ni Dao Lu Juhei Rashomon. Johnny and Joseph greeted him instantly, and they both swung their swords at the same time to form a combined attack against Charlotte. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Ghost Chi 9 Dao Flow. Boom. Draw the sword scene of the dead. Lose. A purple ghost suddenly appeared on top of Zoro's head, and even his figure had turned into a 3-headed 6-arm shape. Even when the surrounding cadres and pirates felt this cold breath, they couldn't help feeling a little trembling. Ashura. However, the desperate blow of Johnny Joseph also gave Zoro a chance to attack. At the same time, with a punch from Charlotte's left hand, Johnny Joseph directly blasted the two of them into flight. Chapter 112 Seriously Injured. Master. The voice fell. Only saw Zoro's figure flash out towards Charlotte. Only seeing 9 blood spatters, even Charlotte's eyes widened and his face was in astonishment. Puff. The ghost energy passed directly into Charlotte's body through the blade, and the cold breath was raging in Charlotte's body. 9 bloodstains appeared on Charlotte's body, and endless blood flowed out of each bloodstain. Bang bang bang. Charlotte stumbled back dozens of steps, even spitting out a mouthful of blood, and then panting heavily. She even slumped directly on the ground, and the blood had stained her clothes. What? The intense pain on her body made Charlotte scream frantically. The cadres and pirates around saw it, and everyone was suddenly shocked. What? Mom was hurt by the 493 again. And the injury seems to be heavier this time. Are you okay, mother? These pirates looked at all this in disbelief. It can break the defense of Big Mom like a steel balloon, and even slash Big Mom to blood. There is no doubt that Zoro's strength has surpassed most of the people present. And look at Zoro. Puff. At this time, Zoro's mouth also spouted a mouthful of blood, and then fell heavily towards the ground. The strength of the 4 emperors is unavoidable, and it is really terribly strong. Even if Zoro has displayed the strongest 9-sword style he can perform so far. But this move turned out to be only slashing Charlotte, and Zoro's body also suffered the sword of the emperor. A scorched scar appeared on Zoro's chest. The blood on the scar had been scorched by the flame, and even the blood did not flow out. The ghost spirit from him has dissipated. Thump. Zoro has fallen straight to the ground, and even 3 knives have fallen on the ground. He has completely fallen into a state of collapse. Johnny Joseph, 2 or 3 meters away from him, are now dying. When the two of them saw Zoro had also fallen to the ground, they couldn't help shouting. So, Zoro boss. At this time, all 3 of them had suffered serious injuries and had reached the point of dying. The strength of the 4 emperors completely exceeded their imagination. Although with the cooperation of the Zoro trio, they did cut Charlotte Linlin, but after all, it was only a cut, and it did not cause a fatal injury. Is this the strength of the 4 emperors? It is much stronger than the general star-level pirate. The 3 Zoro thought in their hearts. At this time, Charlotte Linlin, relying on that extremely powerful body, has actually resolved the ghostly energy and injuries in the body. Asshole. Damn bastard. You 3 guys. Charlotte Linlin suddenly looked up to the sky and roared, as if she was furious. She lifted the Napoleon greatsword and strode towards the dying Zoro trio. Boom boom boom. Unexpectedly, just dealing with Luoen's apprentice hurt her. Even though the injury had recovered, she still left dozens of scars on her body. This is simply a shame for her as the 4 emperors. She must kill the 3 Zoro personally to wash away the shame of today. The pirates finally let out a sigh of relief. It's finally over. Sure enough, Mother's strength is still strong. Although he was injured in the process, he defeated the Zoro trio by himself. At this time, the Zoro trio have completely lost the power to resist, like lambs to be slaughtered. The cadres and pirates present all breathed a sigh of relief. Boom boom boom. Charlotte Linlin has also arrived in front of Zoro 3 people, and first stood in front of Zoro. Zoro. Right, it seems that your strength is the strongest among Luoen's apprentices. Then kill you first. While talking, Charlotte Linlin has raised the Napoleon greatsword in his hand. When Johnny and Joseph saw this, they suddenly shouted. Asshole, stop it. If you want to kill us first. Boss Zoro is the man who wants to become the world's #1 swordsman. Asshole Big Mom, come and kill us first. They shouted so deeply. Charlotte Linlin smiled jokingly. Don't worry. Kill Zoro first, then you too. All three of you are going to die. The Napoleon's greatsword in his hand has covered the mighty armament Hawkeye, and Charlotte Linlin's eyes are filled with a grinning grin. Zoro was completely collapsed lying on the ground, and he had no power to resist. Watching Charlotte raise the giant sword in her hand and slash her head towards him. Is it over? The corner of Zoro's mouth couldn't help showing a bitter smile, and the scene of the revolving lantern flashed in his mind. He once promised Kuina that he would become the world's strongest swordsman, and he would make his name resound throughout the world. He also knelt for 5 days and 5 nights in front of the master's cabin in order to become stronger. He still remembered the scene where the master gave them the advanced cheats. He even more remembered the scene where master traveled from East Blue to Marineford to rescue the 3 of them. Master, can be your apprentice. I am so happy. Although seeing Charlotte slash it, Zoro still showed a strange smile at the corner of his mouth. Go to hell. Charlotte Linlin was already full of killing intent in her heart, and she slammed out with a knife in both hands. But at this moment, under Katakuri's foreknowledge of observation Hawkeye, he actually noticed something wrong. Not good. With the voice falling. Finally, when Napoleon was about to slash the giant sword in Charlotte's hand on Zoro's neck, all of a sudden, he saw a Kaido directly blocking it. Kang. Boom. Even the sword shook suddenly, only to see Charlotte Linlin's figure retreat a few steps away. A man holding a sword stood proudly in front of Zoro. Need time. When I saw the man who appeared suddenly. The audience is silent. 2.6 countless cadres and pirates are already stunned. As for Zoro and Johnny Joseph, their eyes widened as well. Even at this most critical moment. What? The Zoro trio immediately shouted excitedly with all their strength. Big Mom. Quote. The cadres and pirates around were in a state of shock, and they did not expect it in any way. Including Charlotte Linlin. She stood firm first, and then looked at the man who appeared suddenly, and her heart was instantly raged. Luen arrived here unexpectedly. There was an incomparable anger in his tone. Luen. I saw Ryujin Jaka in Luen's hand pointing forward, and then looked at Charlotte Linlin with cold eyes. Finally. Are you looking for death? Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Want to kill my lover? Master. Chapter 113 Beat Big Mom. Advertise here. Hear what Luen said. The pirates who were present were already horrified, but they could only keep silent as if they were afraid to provoke Luen. Dare to say, are you looking for death? To Charlotte Linlin, one of the 4 emperors. In this world, apart from Luen, no one is qualified to say such a thing. This is due to Luen's strong confidence in his own strength. Although the 3 Zoro had been seriously injured, when they saw the master coming to rescue them, they were even more moved. Master, we didn't shame you. Although we were defeated, we never begged for mercy. Cough cough cough. Johnny and Joseph were already extremely excited. Zoro also lay on the ground dying and braced and said. Master, we trouble you again. We are too weak. Hearing these words from his apprentices, Luen couldn't help but nodded and said with satisfaction. Okay, master is here. It's okay. These words seemed to give the Zoro 3 a shot of a heart boost, and the Zoro 3 felt extremely relieved at this moment. I'm afraid in this world, there is nothing more secure than the appearance of a master. Even if the opponent is Charlotte Linlin, one of the 4 emperors, even if the opponent has nearly 100 cadres and above. Even if only Master 09 Luen was present, the Zoro trio felt extremely relieved. Not to mention, with the arrival of Luen, everyone only saw Jingran 2 more figures flying in this direction from a distance. These 2 figures stepped on the moonwalk of Marine 6 styles, and it took almost 10 seconds to reach Luen. Former Marine Admiral Aokiji Kuzan, and former Marine Admiral Black Arm Zephyr. Big Mom stared slightly at the 2 people who appeared suddenly. There was a bad cry in my heart. Originally, she thought she only needed to deal with Luen. But now it seems to have to deal with the 2 former Admiral, Kuzan and Zephyr, including Luen, a total of 3 top powerhouses. Seeing that Kuzan and Zephyr have arrived, Luen immediately ordered. Kuzan, Zephyr, Big Mom, leave it to me. The rest of the pirates belong to your master and apprentice. The voice fell. Kuzan and Zephyr agreed together. Good president. Need time. Zephyr and Kuzan went directly to the pirates not far away, but Luen stood proudly in front of Charlotte Linlin. The pirates not far away were shocked when they saw this. 2 former Marine Admiral, should we deal with it? These 2 guys are not good. They looked at both Zephyr and Kuzan and couldn't help feeling frustrated. Even if Luen came alone, he even brought 2 admirals, Zephyr and Kuzan. At this time, Katakuri immediately stabilized the military and said. Don't be afraid of everyone. The other party has only 2 people. These 2 former Marine Admiral have broken their legs and their hands, and their strength is no longer at the peak. We have nearly 100 people, and we can deal with them. Hear these words of Katakuri. The fear in the eyes of the pirates around immediately calmed down. Yes, Katakuri makes sense. Zephyr and Kuzan, these 2 disabilities, what are we afraid of? We have nearly 100 people, as long as we kill the 2 original Marine Admiral together. There is really nothing to be afraid of. At this time it has been divided into two battlefields. Luen faced Big Mom Charlotte Linlin, one of the four emperors alone, and guarded the three Zoro who had been seriously injured. Zephyr Kuzan, the master and apprentice, faced the pirates at the cadre level headed by Kaido Kuzan. This is the first time for the two former Marine Admiral to join the Hunters Guild. They naturally spare no effort. When Charlotte Linlin looked at Luen, her eyes were filled with the cold color of the yin pad. The ferocious eyes seemed to want to tear Luen to pieces at once. Asshole Luen, you damn guy, obviously, you can kill Zoro and the others in just one step, so as to avenge the stars. You actually made a move. Charlotte Linlin couldn't help cursing, her words filled with endless anger. This was the first time she had seen Luen with her own eyes, and personally faced this man known as the strongest bounty hunter. What? Luen held Ryujin Jaka directly forward, and then there was a gloomy look in his eyes. Big Mom. Success. Surroundings. Everything is ashes. Ryujin Jaka. Wow. It takes time for Ryujin Jaka's blade to rise up into a fierce flame. When feeling the powerful aura of Luen, Charlotte Linlin couldn't help narrowing her eyes with a look of amazement. It's also the ability of flame. In that case. Son Prometheus. The voice fell. Homits, a group of burning flames, agreed again. Mother, I am here. Just listen to the boom. The great sword Napoleon in Charlotte Linlin's hands also entangled the flames again. Immediately armament Hawkeye also wrapped around the sword. Bounty hunter Luen, come and try this trick. Emperor Sword Broken Blade. This move was exactly the one that cut Zoro into serious injuries, and the full blow of the four emperors seemed like the current Zoro could not contend alone. But now, Charlotte Linlin is not facing Zoro, but Zoro's master Luen. I only saw that Charlotte was holding Napoleon, a giant sword entwined with flames, slashing towards Luen abruptly. Luen immediately narrowed his eyes, tapped his body with one foot and jumped into the air, and he held Ryujin Jaka in his hand and also slashed towards Charlotte. Boom. Finally, the weapons of both sides collided in midair, which was the result of armament Hawkeye's release. Rumbling, rumbling. The sound of thunderous lightning came out, and immediately aroused an endless air current to sweep out in all directions. What? As expected to be their master. Your strength is really strong. Ah, Charlotte Linlin is also born with strange power, so his power can be described as extremely amazing. I saw her hands shook suddenly, and Luen also exerted force sharply. Boom. Both sides took a few steps back. But Luen tapped one foot on the ground again, his figure jumped into the air. Torch. What? A tornado burst directly toward Charlotte. Heaven is on fire. Following Charlotte's violent drink, his right hand immediately grabbed Helmut's Prometheus 493. A violent flame was shot from Prometheus's body, and the flame also shot toward the tornado burst. Boom. The two flames collided suddenly and then entangled. But the next moment, I only saw the tornado-type blast engulfing Prometheus, flames in an instant, and then continued to attack Charlotte. She actually lost under the flame competition. But watching Charlotte wield a giant sword aura again. Weo. The huge sword energy slashed towards the tornado-shaped explosive flame. Finally, the tornado-type blast was exploded. And just now, Luoen's left arm had been chopped by Luen, and the intense pain had made her angry. It hurts. The cadres and pirates not far away were shocked when they saw this. As this Luen the strongest bounty hunter. Boom. Charlotte Linlin's left arm was cut open with a wound, but the wound was directly burned into charcoal by the knife. And it seems that Mom's attacking moves can't cause him any harm at all. Luen slashed on her great sword Napoleon with one stroke, but he slashed with a backhand. At this extremely dangerous moment, Charlotte Linlin could only have time to raise the great sword to block Napoleon. What? Charlotte Linlin's figure suddenly retreated 10 steps away, finally alleviating the impact of Luoen's move. With just one person, you can suppress your mother. Boom boom boom. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. You bastard. Luoen's figure suddenly burst into flames, holding Ryujin Jaka directly at Charlotte Linlin. Chapter 114 The Strongest Form of Big Mom. Advertise here. Master. It's worthy of being a master. So strong. The three of Zoro, who had been seriously injured, fell to the ground and said, seemingly dying. The three of them worked together for the price of serious injuries, only to chop Charlotte Linlin. But at this time their master Luen shot. It was easy to slash Charlotte Linlin with his own power, but he was not injured in any way. Enough to be visible. How powerful is their master Luen? Asshole. Damn Luen, I must kill you. But after hearing Charlotte Linlin burst out again, holding the giant sword in his right hand, Napoleon suddenly jumped up. Thunder Fire Sword. The power of lightning and the power of flame immediately entangled on the giant sword Napoleon, plus the blessing of armament Hawkeye. The power of this Thunder Fire Sword has reached its extreme. Charlotte Linlin was already angry. Boom. The fierce thunder and lightning mingled with the force of the flame slashed towards Luen. Fire resistance. Luen crosses in front of him with one hand. Seeing Charlotte Linlin's attack hit him, a burst of flame was released. Boom. This burst of flame was almost instantaneous, and it blasted Charlotte's thunder and fire sword directly into the air. Even the huge body flew upside down tens of meters away. Boom. The huge body hit the ground heavily, and even rolled on the ground several times before stopping. Mother. Pirates saw it all around, ready to go to rescue Charlotte Linlin. But at this time, Kuzan suddenly released a cold air and stopped in front of these pirates. Ah la la, can't you let you interfere with the president? You pirates. Seeing that Kuzan and Zephyr stopped directly in front of them. These cadres and pirates suddenly became furious. Asshole, we have to save Mom. You two get out of here. These cadres and pirates shouted. And Zephyr's eyes instantly revealed a killing intent. You scum, what do you bark indiscriminately? Go to death for me. But watching Zephyr suddenly jumped high, the iron arm smasher in his right hand blasted toward the nearly 100 pirates. Smash the blaster. I saw a strong bombardment released from the crusher, and this strong bombardment swiftly rushed toward the 100 pirates. Run away. That's Admiral's attack. Don't make it hard. With the cry of a pirate. Boom. But after hearing a loud noise, several cadres and pirates are still annihilated under this bombardment. Asshole. It turned out to be a direct shot. Originally Marine Admiral Zephyr. This damn guy. The remaining pirates looked at Zephyr with lingering fear. Katakuri's expression suddenly wrinkled. As expected of the original admiral. A single shelling has such a powerful power. And there is another Aokiji Kuzan next to him who is eyeing him. Perispero. Zephyr and Kuzan, these two can only be temporarily handed over to us to resist. Other people are covering for both of us. Hear the order of Katakuri. Perispero, the eldest son of Charlotte, walked out and said helplessly. That's the only way. Katakuri. Other people cover for us. Immediately afterwards, Katakuri and Perispero led dozens of pirates against Zephyr and Kuzan, the two former admiral. Ah la la, you pirates are finally going to do it. Ms. Zephyr, your body can still hold it. Kuzan couldn't help but said jokingly, as if he didn't pay attention to these pirates at all. Zephyr immediately narrowed his eyes and laughed. Ahahaha, Kuzan, you kid, the old man's bones are still tough. But then again, how long has it been between our master and apprentice? Kuzan couldn't help raising his head and remembering that year. Ah la la, Ms. Zephyr, it should be at least 20 years. I heard Zephyr and Kuzan talking. The pirates headed by Katakuri and Perispero were suddenly furious. You two bastards, in the face of so many of us, even dare to chat. Go to hell you guys. The voice fell. The pirates rushed towards Kuzan and Zephyr respectively. Kuzan, do it, look at who kills more. These pirates are all damned. Zephyr Admiral shouted loudly. Kuzan also replied. If you can kill these pirates, the common people will definitely support. So this is the justice that goes with the common people. It's also true justice. The voice fell. Zephyr Admiral and Kuzan swiftly walked out, rushing towards the many pirates in front of them. At this time, Charlotte Linlin has fallen to the ground, and even his whole body has been stained with ashes. Just now, Luoen's fire rejection trick directly shook her into the air and made her roll on the ground for a few laps before stopping. At this time, her appearance can be said to be very wolf fox. Just ask. As one of the 4 emperors on the sea, has Big Mom suffered such humiliation? When facing Luoen, she was completely inferior, and Luoen was repelled by Luoen. There is even a scar that cannot be ignored on his arm. Asshole. Luoen, you guy, I must kill you. Charlotte Linlin was already furious. Although the injury on the arm is nothing, it is a shame for her to be beaten back by Luoen. At this time, Charlotte Linlin is ready, Mono is good, to do her best. Thundercloud Zeus. Only a dark cloud of rehomets with thunder and lightning appeared on Charlotte Linlin's left shoulder. Sun Prometheus. A fireball-like homets, burning with flames, appeared on her right shoulder. The state of the double-horned had Napoleon's sharp blade. The giant sword in his hand, Napoleon, unexpectedly began to stretch, and it was already twice as long as before. Thundercloud Zeus, Sun Prometheus, double-horned had Napoleon. These 3 are Charlotte Linlin's strongest hormets, and they are made from his soul fruit. When these 3 hormets played together, it meant that Charlotte Linlin was ready to play with all his strength. Are you finally serious, Big Mom? But only by you. But it's far from my opponent. Ryujin Jaka in Luoen's hand pointed forward, with a joking smile on the corner of his eyes. Chapter 115 Absolute Defense Susanoo. Advertise here. At this time, Luoen's words are full of provocation. Asshole boy, dare to look down upon me so much. I am also 4 emperors. Charlotte Linlin was already furious, and immediately waved her big hand. Combined attack. Heaven is on fire. Big thunder. The 2 Hormies, the Sun Prometheus and the Thundercloud Zeus, immediately released huge flames and thunder with a diameter of 10 meters. These 2 Hormies' strong attacks instantly blasted towards Luoen. More than that, following the attack of thunder and flames, Charlotte Linlin even slashed towards Luoen while holding the huge sword Napoleon. The spear of Elbaf is prestigious. Once again released an extremely huge slash. Flame. Thunder. Giant sword spirit. 3 different and extremely powerful attacks swept towards Luen at the same time. To know, even if these 3 kinds of attacks are only one kind, they are all comparable to the full blow of the Emperor-level powerhouse. But now, these 3 kinds of attacks are displayed together, which is enough to show how powerful this might be. No doubt, this Trinity attack is Charlotte Linlin's strongest move, and it is also the strongest move she can use after she has become extremely angry. She is bound to kill Luen. Go to hell, bounty hunter Luen. What? With a roar from Charlotte Linlin. Flames, falling thunder, giant sword energy. 497. These 3 different and powerful attacks have suddenly attacked Luen at the same time. Only seeing Luen's eyes narrowed slightly, his eyes turned into purple swirls. Then put your hands together to make a seal. Susanoo. The voice fell. Only a blue-violet giant tens of meters high was condensed on Luen, and this blue-violet giant also protected the 3 Zoro. Immediately afterwards, the armament Hawkeye at the peak of Luen was also covered by Susanoo at this time. I saw that Susanoo's body seemed to be covered with a layer of black and red armor, as if it had turned into a black warrior. Absolute defense. The voice fell. Finally, the fierce sky fire was directly mixed with thunder attack, and a huge giant sword aura also slashed towards Susanoo. Boom. There was only a loud noise that shook the sky. The flames and the falling thunder directly engulfed Susanoo's body, and the huge sword energy also smashed on Susanoo. Boom. Only seeing the flame and thunder light seemed to have a violent vibration. Zzz. The giant sword energy stalemate with Susanoo for a few seconds, and then collapsed instantly. When the 10-meter diameter thunderbolt hit Susanoo's body, it turned out that there were only a few ripples on Susanoo's surface. The fire in the sky can only burn on Susanoo's body, but it can't burn the 4 Luen masters and disciples in AJCG, Susanoo's body at all. Luen in Susanoo's body immediately swung his Ryujin Jaka towards the surrounding flames. Receive. I only saw where Ryujin Jaka passed, and all the flames released by Homits were absorbed by the blade of Ryujin Jaka. Finally, Charlotte Linlin's strongest moves have been solved by Luen. What? How can this be? Do not. Even Charlotte Linlin never expected that her attack would have no effect on Luen. The blue-purple giant that was summoned, and after covering the black and red peak, armed with Hawkeye. This giant is just like the same, black samurai, looks extremely Hawkeye. Big Mom. Quote. I already said it. You are not my opponent yet. Luoen's voice fell. The black warrior immediately flew up and turned into a black energy sword in his hand, and then slammed directly at Charlotte Linlin. Upon seeing this, Charlotte Linlin was horrified, and immediately held Napoleon's long sword and slashed towards the black warrior again. Boom. Feeling a strong force coming from the blade, Charlotte Linlin's body immediately retreated a few steps. Bang bang bang. The black samurai, turned into by Susanoo, is covered with the pinnacle armament Hawkeye, and his strength is also very strong. Moreover, the figure of this black warrior is tens of meters tall, even bigger than Charlotte Linlin's figure, which is less than 10 meters tall. At this time, I saw this black warrior holding a powerful sword and pressing forward, while Charlotte Linlin also wielded a huge sword in his hand. Napoleon resisted, but he was losing ground. Boom boom boom. The 2 little giants started close combat in this way, and each hit and slashed collision would arouse a huge air current. The black warrior turned into by Susanoo is controlled by Luen, so this black warrior's sword skills are also very good. But Charlotte Linlin holds Napoleon's greatsword in both hands. Although she has been defeated for a while, her swordsmanship is also very good. Boom. Charlotte Linlin fought and retreated, and the black warrior held an energy sword still pressing forward. Finally Luen found an opportunity, and the black warrior's energy knife smashed directly into Charlotte Linlin's abdomen. Need time. I only saw a puff of blood pouring directly from Charlotte Linlin's abdomen, and it was accompanied by a painful cry. Ming. Boom 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 boom. Charlotte Linlin's figure abruptly took a few steps back, but there was already a look of fear in her eyes. No wonder even Kaido was defeated by this bounty hunter. The strength of this man is simply terrifying. The Kadri pirates who were fighting with Kuzan and Zephyr around, they saw Charlotte Linlin lost to Luen at this time. These pirates are already very surprised. Damn bastard. Why is that guy Luen so strong? Even his mother was beaten to defeat by him. Mom, are you okay? Although they were extremely concerned, they couldn't help Charlotte Linlin at all. Ice cube pheasant mouth. An ice bird tens of meters in size attacked everyone. This was a skill released by Kuzan. Period time. At least a dozen pirates did not come to remember their reaction, and they were frozen into ice sculptures by this ice bird. Then Zephyr has suddenly jumped up. Smash the tornado. Zephyr used the iron arm pulverizer to smash the ground fiercely, and a huge shock wave rushed in all directions. Taste. Those pirates who had been frozen into ice sculptures instantly shattered into countless pieces. A dozen more pirates were killed. Kuzan still said lazily. Ah la la, Ms. Zephyr. These pirates are clearly fighting with us, so they dare to pay attention to other places. It seems that we didn't put our master and apprentice in the eyes. Zephyr also waved his hand coldly. In that case. Then slaughter all these pirates. Smash the blaster. Another bombardment was released toward the front through the iron arm pulverizer. And just now, step to step, but I saw that Katakuri had already run over. Flowing sticky ball. He only saw him pressing one hand on the ground, and this piece of ground turned into a glutinous ball, and armament hockey was already covered on the glutinous ball. In the end, the Nuo group actually formed a defensive shield and brazenly stood in front of Zephyr's shelling. Boom. Zephyr's shelling bombarded the Wax Regiment shield, and the attack had been blocked. So Zephyr couldn't help looking at Katakuri with some doubts. Fruit awakening. Kuzan joked with Zephyr and said. ... Kuzan released the cold air and attacked Katakuri. I didn't expect that there would be such a strong person in the Big Mom pirate group. Other pirates trouble you to solve it. Kuzan also came over and looked at Katakuri. The voice fell. Sure enough, some strength. It seems that you should be the strongest in this pirate group except Big Mom. Ta. It can change the ground through the ability of awakening, and turn it into an object similar to a sticky ball. Smash the tornado. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. A Paramesha capable person. Leave this Katakuri to me. Ms. Zephyr. Immediately afterwards, Zephyr attacked the other pirates again. Chapter 116 Black Arm Zephyr. The slaughter of the pirates. Advertise here. At this time, Charlotte Linlin is already injured. Katakuri and other cadres and pirates wanted to rescue, but they were blocked by Kuzan and Zephyr. No doubt, Charlotte Linlin is at stake. Puff. A mouthful of blood spilled from her mouth again, and the blood from the wound in her abdomen still surged. When she looked at the Black Warrior of Susanoo, her eyes were full of fear. If you want to single out with Luen, she really is not an opponent. But at this time, seeing that Susanoo turned into a Black Warrior suddenly jumped up, and once again raised the energy sword in his hand and slashed towards Charlotte, Special Linlin. Go to hell, Big Mom. Quote. Luen's killing intent hit Charlotte again. Charlotte Linlin was frightened, holding the giant sword Napoleon again suddenly swung out. Weo. A giant sword energy attacked Luen, trying to make her last struggle. Boom. The Black Warrior directly flew this giant sword with a knife. He slashed at Charlotte again. What? Charlotte Linlin yelled. A huge wound from the left shoulder to the right waist appeared in front of him. Immediately, a violent blow temporarily forced the Black Warrior back, and her figure jumped again and retreated hundreds of meters away. Puff. The body spit out another mouthful of blood in the air. This bastard. What a strong swordsmanship. If this continues, I will die. Charlotte Linlin thought like this in her heart. On the other side of the battlefield. Seeing Charlotte Linlin's injury, Katakuri immediately wrinkled his eyes and shouted. Mother. Then use the glutinous fruit ability to turn the arm into a glutinous ball and surround the weapon trident, and then make the arm rotate and stab forward. The glutinous group stabs. Kuzan exhaled an air conditioner, and the air conditioner instantly condensed into a 2-meter-long ice blade. Armament hockey was covered on the ice blade. Then directly faced the glutinous thorns of Katakuri. Boom. The ice blades of the two sides collided, and Katakuri's figure flew upside down in an instant. Ming. Katakuri fell heavily on the ground, a trace of blood spilling from the corner of his mouth. Kuzan said lazily, "Ah la, you still have the mind to pay attention to others. Although first quit Marine, I am also the original admiral." Katakuri got up again. He glanced at Charlotte Linlin first, and then at Kuzan with a drunk look in his eyes again. Roasted rice cakes. Just watch the Katakuri transform the upper part of the hand into rice cake and compress it while wrapping the heat and armament hockey. Then he punched Kuzan again. He is now too busy to take care of himself, so now he can only concentrate on fighting Kuzan. The battlefield on the other side. Hot fist. Pirate Charlotte Owen raised his right fist, which had become hot, and blasted it towards Zephyr. Just watch Zephyr sneer. Then the iron arm pulverizer grabbed straight forward and directly grabbed Owen's head. Smash bunting. Boom. Only a loud noise was heard in an instant. Owen's head exploded like this. In front of the original Marine Admiral, a pirate of this level was almost killed by a single move. Pirates. Accept the slaughter. Smash the blaster. The iron arm pulverizer once again released a huge energy bombardment. But when he saw Big Mom's eldest son Perispero, he jumped up and stopped in front of the pirates. Candy barrier. A barrier appeared out of thin air and stopped in front of the energy gun. Boom. The energy cannon had already blasted on the candy barrier, but saw the candy barrier shatter after only resisting for 2 or 3 seconds. Candy shield. Perispero once again displayed the candy shield, holding the shield once again blocked by the impact of the energy cannon. Boom. Finally, Perispero used 2 skills to block one of Zephyr's energy cannons. Woohoo. And he was still gasping for breath. However, Zephyr had already jumped high in the air, and the iron arm grinder with his right hand raised again. Smash the dragon scroll. Armament hockey has covered the shredder. Candy barrier. Perispero displayed the barrier again. However, at this time, seeing Zephyr punch out, 0, for flowers. Boom. The barrier shattered at the sound. And with armament hockey's punch, it hit Perispero directly in the face. Taste. He only heard the sound of broken bones, the candy armor on Perispero's body burst into pieces, and then the head exploded directly. Boom. Perispero, the eldest son of Big Mom, was knocked out of his head by a punch by Zephyr. Thump. Has fallen to the ground and lost the breath of life. Parasparrow. Parasparrow is dead. Ah, bastard. Parasparrow is dead. The pirates all around were already shocked when they saw this. Katakuri has been stopped by Kuzan, and among the remaining pirates, only Pero's Puro, who offers a reward of 700 million, is the strongest. However, even the strongest Parasparrow is still buried under the original Marine Admiral Zephyr. No, it's impossible to defeat. What kind of strength is this? We are defeated. At this time, the pirates have been distracted. Their mother Charlotte Linlin has been defeated by Luen. Katakuri is also at a disadvantage in the fight against Kuzan. But now Parasparrow has been killed by Zephyr. Obviously. Today's Big Mom Pirates group is defeated. But, Zephyr didn't let go of the pirates' intentions, but when he saw him raising it again, he hit it with a punch. Big Dragon Roll. The ground is cracked. Go to hell, pirates. Boom. As a violent shock wave came, at least 7 or 8 pirates were shaken to pieces. Zephyr is crazy. The original Marine Admiral Zephyr is crazy. Isn't he Admiral who claims he won't kill? This bastard. Countless pirates began to evade trial in a panic, but Zephyr never let go of their intentions. Smash the dragon scroll. Smash the cannon. Smash bunting. I only heard countless screams that were endless as a line. Even Kuzan and Katakuri, who had been fighting, couldn't help being speechless. Chapter 117 Twin Kings. Kaido and Big Mom. Advertise here. Angular rice cake. Katakuri first uses the power of glutinous fruit to turn its arms into strips of rice cakes, and then uses armament haki to harden and quickly hit them out. And facing the attack of Katakuri, Kuzan immediately waved his big hand, and an ice barrier stopped in front of him. Boom boom boom. However, Katakuri's attack came like a torrential rain, but this ice barrier completely blocked his attack. But in the meanwhile, this ice barrier also began to be covered with some cracks. Kuzan said jokingly, "Ah la la, it seems that the attack power is not weak. Sure enough, apart from Big Mom, you are the strongest pirate." Immediately afterwards, Katakuri attacked again. Original Marine Admiral Kuzan. Go to death for me. Famous chestnut rice cake. His body turned into the shape of countless glutinous balls, and under the cover of armament haki, he quickly blasted towards Kuzan again. In the original work, the power of Katakuri's move is completely comparable to or even surpassing Luffy's 4-speed snake cannon. Upon seeing this, Kuzan suddenly released another cold air. Ice 100 Thorn Spear. However, nearly 100 ice spears appeared in the air, and then shot out towards Katakuri. Boom 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 boom. Nearly 100 ice spears shot out. The countless strips of waxy balls displayed by Katakuri instantly slammed into these ice spears. Boom boom boom. Katakuri's 49-7 haki is extremely powerful, even if these ice spears shoot quickly from all angles. He can still use Nuo-Tuan to block it accurately. Boom boom boom. Numerous strips of glutinous balls smashed the nearly 100 ice spears to pieces. But the next moment, Kuzan's attack struck again. Ice cube, pheasant mouth. But watching a giant bird has flown towards Katakuri. Katakuri is also unwilling to show weakness. Weird rice cakes. His arms have instantly swelled into a huge form, and armament haki has been wrapped around. Boom. It's just a blow to the flying ice bird. I only saw Katakuri's figure retreating a few steps, and even a fierce heat was released from his fist. What? He roared suddenly. Several small cracks appeared on the ice bird's body. Baked weird rice cake. With a loud shout, the fist on his right arm had risen into flames again, and then suddenly exerted force again. Boom. Finally the ice bird was broken. But Katakuri's figure also backed a few steps away again, and panted loudly. He could clearly see his arm, and there were signs of frostbite on the fist of the arm. So strong. Katakuri couldn't help exclaiming. Kuzan is still very lazy. Ah la la, you can actually block my attacks one after another. It looks like some strength. Seeing Kuzan's indifferent expression, Katakuri frowned suddenly and furiously said. Asshole, what do you mean by such contemptuous eyes? Go to death for me. He suddenly jumped up again, and his arm turned into a rice cake shape and swelled up, turning into a huge mace. Armament haki has also been covered on the mace. This is Katakuri's strongest move. Cut nice cake. In the original work, Katakuri only used this move to knock Luffy into the abyss in 4th gear and lose consciousness. Enough to see the great power of this trick. When Kuzan saw this, he also leapt in the air calmly, then concentrated on Katakuri and released a cold air, which turned directly into an ice dragon and flew out. Super. Ice dragon. Roar. As if with the sound of dragons. This blue ice dragon was 20 to 30 meters long, and it rushed towards Katakuri with a sound of the dragon's upward sound. This move is also Kuzan's strongest attacking move. Spiritual time. Only the ice dragon collided with Katakuri's fist. Whirring. A wave of ultimate coldness instantly dissipated, and the bodies of the ice dragon and Katakuri froze for 2 or 3 seconds. Then, boom. The ice dragon slammed into it, only to see the figure of Katakuri flying upside down in an instant, and his body was already covered with freezing air. Thump. Curry's body had fallen to the ground, and a cold air began to spread towards his body. What? Curry. My god. Kuzan actually defeated Curry. The pirates not far away who were avoiding Zephyr's attack had already noticed this scene at this time. There was a look of fear in their eyes. Curry is also defeated. The strongest star is also defeated. My god, is this the strength of the original Marine Admiral? Just now, however, Zephyr seized the opportunity and caught it suddenly. Another Kadri pirate was caught directly on the iron arm smasher by him. Smash bunting. With a violent roar. Boom. The pirate's body was directly blown into child powder. Hey, your opponent is me. Do you still have time to care about other people? Zephyr said jokingly. At this time, the pirates of the Big Mom pirate group had been defeated by the masters and apprentices of Zephyr and Kuzan. At the same time, bang bang bang, Charlotte Linlin's body was once again forced back by the Black Warrior, and 4 wounds have appeared on her body. Hoo. He even started to gasp. She also glanced not far away and found that her pirate cadres not far away had been defeated one after another. Asshole. Curry, Parasparrow, Owen, Dafu. What? You damn guys. Charlotte Linlin is already in a state of anger, and even her consciousness is going to fall into a state of madness. Just now, only saw that the Black Warrior found the opportunity to slash out. Charlotte Linlin couldn't dodge, only to see that his stout arm was directly cut off with a knife. What? Bang bang bang. Charlotte Linlin immediately backed away a few steps, eyes full of fear and anger. Her left arm was cut off by the Black Samurai abruptly, and a pillar of blood spewed out directly. What? It hurts. You bastard. The incomparable sense of fear from the bottom of her heart has suddenly struck her mind. Can't beat it. This is absolutely unbeatable. Even as the 4 emperors, she is definitely not Luoen's opponent. Originally, the Kadris and pirates were defeated, but now even she is not Luoen's opponent at all. Step to step, Susanoo walked towards Charlotte Linlin again, and at this time her heart had lost the intent to fight. In terms of heads up, she knew that she could no longer be Luoen's opponent. How to do? Thinking like this in my heart. What? And the big knife in Susanoo's hand struck again. Boom. Bang bang bang. Charlotte Linlin's figure was directly shocked and flew out, and fell heavily to the ground. Puff. A spit of blood came out of her mouth, and her huge body had fallen to the ground. Seeing Susanoo's Black Warrior walking towards her step by step, a sense of crisis was already in my heart. It will die. I can't beat this guy. Is it going to end? Charlotte Linlin's eyes showed a hint of fear. 0. As the 4 emperors, she probably felt this very powerless feeling for the first time today. She has fully realized that she is not Luoen's opponent at all. Mother. Run away. This guy is too strong. The pirates in the distance did not forget to remind them that their eyes were full of fear and despair. They all knew that the Big Mom pirate group was defeated. Many Kadris, including Curry, have already been defeated, and even their mother, Charlotte Linlin, who they think is the strongest, is not Luoen's opponent at all. Obviously, the power of just a 4 emperors pirate group can't compare to the power of the Hunters Guild. To know, the Hunters Guild not only has Luen, but also Zephyr Kuzan, the 2 former admiral. The strength of this guild has definitely surpassed a single 4 emperors pirate group. All the pirates have lost their intent to fight, and all they think about now is how to survive. There is already a look of despair in his eyes. It's gone. The Big Mom pirates group has failed miserably. Mom's left hand has been cut off, but Luen is completely unscathed. Even my mother is not Luoen's opponent. It's no wonder that Kaido, the beast known as the King of Singles, will also run away from Luoen's hands. This guy named Luen. His strength has surpassed the level of the 4 emperors. The eyes of all the pirates revealed a look of helplessness and despair. Originally, their purpose of coming to this island was actually just to kill the Zoro trio to avenge the star. But never thought of it. Luen brought Kuzan and Zephyr, 2 former admiral, to this island. Not only saved the Sulong 3 people, but also beat the Big Mom pirates to heavy casualties. Step to step, the Black Samurai turned into by Susanoo strode towards Big Mom, and the energy sword in his hand was also full of endless power. Will it be over? There was also a hint of despair in Charlotte Linlin's eyes. She already knew that she was definitely not Luoen's opponent, and I am afraid that she would really be planted here today. The pirates in the distance also showed horror. Does it really end? Our Big Mom pirate group will be destroyed here. Even my mother is not Luoen's opponent at all, even the left arm has been cut off by Luen at 2.6. This guy Luen is so terrifying. Just relying on us as a Big Mom pirate group, it is not an opponent of the Hunters Guild at all. The strength of this Hunter Guild may have surpassed any single 4 emperors pirate group. The eyes of these pirates were filled with incomparable fear. They had never thought that a dignified 4 emperors pirate group would be so miserable. Just at this time, sudden, booming, but I saw that the originally clear sky began to flash and thunder, and even dark clouds had spread from not far away. Everyone looked up at the sky in surprise subconsciously. This sudden dark cloud, what's the matter? Isn't it supposed to be cloudless? The pirates were puzzled, and when Charlotte Linlin felt this breath, her panicked face suddenly showed a touch of joy. Coming. That guy, although it's a little late. She clutched her severed hand and looked up at the sky. Finally, just listen to the extremely deep and thick voice coming from the dark clouds. Hunters Guild, Luen, Laozi is here. Get ready to meet the anger of revenge. As the voice had fallen, only a huge body of a blue dragon appeared among the dark clouds. Chapter 118 Unprecedented. People vs. Twin Kings. Advertise here. Boom. There was thunder in the sky, and dark clouds had already shrouded the sky over this island. A huge and incomparable blue dragon appeared in the dark clouds. Everyone looked up at the sky. Everyone recognized the identity of this blue dragon. It's Kaido. In New World, another 4 emperors appeared, and 2 4 emperors level powerhouses appeared on this island. Kaido and Big Mom have already formed an alliance with the 4 emperors pirate groups in order to deal with our Hunters Guild. Asterisk at caret asterisk dollar asterisk caret. The 3 Zoro, who had been seriously injured, fell to the ground, and they just lay flat and looked towards the sky. No, we have to stand up and fight side by side with Master. These are 2 4 emperors, and they should still be 2 4 emperors pirate group. I'm afraid it won't take long for Beast's pirates to reach this island. The Zoro trio were talking and struggling to get up, but their bodies were already very collapsed. Kuzan said to them, "Ah la la, the 3 apprentices of the president. The 3 of you have done a good job before, so stay tuned." Zephyr couldn't help laughing. "Your master and the 2 of us are here. You 3 juniors don't have to be too reluctant. It's just 2 4 emperors. Luen, Kuzan, Zephyr. Oh 9. This is currently the highest combat power of the Hunters Guild. Only 2 4 emperors came. Zephyr and Kuzan didn't have any fear. Not far away, those pirates of the Big Mom pirate group were overjoyed when they saw the blue dragon appearing in the sky at this time. It's Kaido. It's Kaido here. Beast's Pirates is here to help us. Beast's Pirates is our ally. With 2 4 emperors present, they will definitely be able to defeat the Hunters Guild. Our pirates have formed an alliance with Beast's Pirates, and Kaido is definitely here to help us." When these cadres and pirates saw Kaido in the sky, their originally extremely desperate expression suddenly turned into a state of extreme ecstasy. "Kaido is here. Beast's Kaido is here. We are saved. Mom, did you see Ma? Kaido has come." At this time, Charlotte Linlin also kept looking up at the blue dragon high in the sky. She resisted the sharp pain in her arm and shouted, "Kaido, you finally came. Please come down to me soon." The voice fell, only saw the blue dragon roar in the sky, and then fell towards the island. The Qinglong body was in the air, and then it had transformed into a human form. Boom. With a loud noise. Then the smoke slowed down. Disperse. Kaido, who only sees the human form, has stood beside Charlotte Linlin and stood shoulder to shoulder with her. When Kaido saw Charlotte Linlin's broken left arm, he couldn't help showing a touch of comfort. "Linlin, when I receive the news, I will rush here immediately. But now it looks like it's still a step too late. Your hands." Charlotte Linlin's eyes showed cruelty, and then he said indifferently, "Kaido, needless to say this, broken an arm doesn't affect me much. As long as you can kill Luen. It is true, the purpose of their alliance with the pirates is to eliminate the Hunters Guild." Kaido also narrowed his eyes slightly and said, "Yes. And the 6 members of the Hunters Guild seem to be here. Today was wiped out in one fell swoop. Yes, the Hunters Guild currently has only 6 members. Luen, Zoro, Johnny, Joseph, Kuzan, and Zephyr. And these 6 members are all present now." Hear what Kaido said. Zephyr couldn't help but feel a little ridiculously taunting. "I said Kaido, are you guys older and more confused than me? Just by relying on you 2 4 emperors, do you want to destroy us?" Kuzan couldn't help but laugh jokingly. "Ah la la, Kaido, beasts. You were originally a defeated opponent of President Luen. But why do you dare to say such blatant words today? Is it possible that you have any new preparations?" Hear what Kuzan said. Kaido's eyes showed a hint of coldness, but he didn't explain too much to everyone. Only Charlotte Linlin on the side understood it, and there was a cold killing intent in his eyes. To deal with Luen, Kaido specially prepared the Killer Copper. It is said that the Killer Copper is the highest masterpiece, made in 28 years. If there is no absolute confidence, they naturally dare not come to the Hunters Guild for revenge. Ta. I only saw the black samurai transformed into Susanoo, slowly walking towards Kaido and Charlotte. Luen's body is completely wrapped in this Susanoo. Every step of the black warrior took an extremely strong sense of oppression. Especially in Charlotte Linlin's heart was the most fear, because it was the black warrior who had cut her arm just now, even if her left arm was still aching. At this time, Kaido has pulled out a new mace. In the previous battle between Kaido and Luen on the hunting island, his original weapon, mace, was smashed to pieces by Luen. So today he took out a new weapon again, and the hammerhead of this mace is made of the hardest sea stone. "Linlin, how many years have we not fought together? Speaking of which, I really have to thank you," Kaido said slowly. When Rock's pirate disbanded, it was Charlotte Linlin who gave Kaido the strongest zone monster species blue dragon fruit. So Kaido owes Charlotte Linlin a favor. "What? As long as you can kill Luen. You don't need to worry about favors or anything. Charlotte Linlin had to hold the great sword Napoleon with one hand. 2-4 emperors. For the first time in history, they fought side by side, and their common enemy was the Hunters Guild. At this time, seeing that the 2-4-497 emperor-level powerhouses had already set their posture, they seemed to be ready to deal with Luen together. And Kuzan had already defeated Katakuri, so he was ready to move in the direction of Luen. Ah la la, 2-4 emperors against one of our guild leaders. It seems that I have to join 2 on 2 too. And just now. Seeing a toothless pterosaur swooping down in the sky, he kicked towards Kuzan. Boom. Kuzan blocked it with an armed look, but his figure immediately retreated several meters. I only saw the burning embers with flames behind him, already standing in front of Kuzan. Original Marine Admiral Aokiji Kuzan. Your opponent is me. Luen, leave it to Big Mom and Kaido. Yan Kaijin said coldly. Kuzan couldn't help narrowing his eyes suddenly. Ah la la. Beasts Pirates' strongest sign, the first person under Kaido. Flame disaster embers. Since you are in front of me, it seems that I can only solve you quickly first. Seeing that Kuzan wanted to come to help himself, but he was already blocked by the flames that suddenly appeared. Luen immediately shook his head and then jokingly said. Kaido, Big Mom, it seems that I have to face you alone. There was no trace of fear or jealousy in his face, and even his eyes were filled with high spirits of war. One person versus 2-4 emperors. I am afraid that no one in this world has tried this way. Chapter 119 The Attitude of the King. This will be the era of Luen. Advertise here. At this time, Kuzan has been blocked by the fire embers. The Black Arm Zephyr is also facing the remaining dozens of cadres and pirates. Zoro, Johnny, and Joseph were all seriously injured and temporarily disabled. The Hunters Guild currently has only 6 people, and only Luen is left facing Kaido and Big Mom. No doubt, Kaido and Big Mom, the 2-4 emperors, are naturally very willing to see this kind of scene. 2-4 emperors vs 1. To know, the 4 emperors are already the top combat power in the world. Although Luen was able to defeat a 4 emperors alone, obviously his strength has surpassed the emperor rank. But Luen now has to face 2 emperors at the same time. It is conceivable that today's battle must be unprecedented. Luen, you fellow, even facing me and Linlin. You didn't even feel scared at all. There was a trace of killing intent in Kaido's gloomy tone. Unexpectedly, Luen still smiled indifferently. You two are my defeated men. Now it's just teaming up. What fear do I have? He didn't even take it seriously. Oh my god, you know that Luen is facing 2-4 emperors, the 2 top powerhouses in the world. But Luen still showed this indifferent attitude. Everyone present felt the power of a proud king emanating from Luen spontaneously. Luen, this guy, even facing 2-4 emperors level powerhouses, they are not afraid. And looking at his eagerness, it seems that he really wants to fight the 2-4 emperors alone. It is completely unprecedented to dare to face 2-4 emperors with just one person. Everyone can't help but secretly gossip in their hearts. The 3 Zoro are also very different. Just now the 3 of us only faced the 4 emperors Big Mom alone, and we already deeply felt the gap with the 4 emperors. And now the master is facing 2-4 emperors alone. I'm afraid master's mighty strength even surpasses all of our imaginations. Kuzan couldn't help but narrowed his eyes and glanced at Luen. Just one person has such a powerful power, and there is no trace of fear in his expression. It's like a king standing in this world. Even facing the 2 emperors of the sea, they are not weaker than the other 2 in terms of momentum. Looking at Luen's proud and yet standing body, even Zephyr, the strong man of the old age, was stunned at this time. Luen, on this young man, I actually saw Wang's figure. Are people facing 2-4 emperors? It's really unique. Zephyr now feels more and more in his heart that joining the Hunters Guild is the most correct choice. I can see such a man with my own eyes. I'm afraid it is not an exaggeration to describe Luen as unparalleled in the world. ... Finally, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin looked at each other, and then performed a combined attack together. Hakoku. This trick Hakoku. It was performed by Kaido, Bahai, and Charlotte Linlin performed Wio. These 2 swordsmanship are combined and displayed together. The 2 waved their weapons towards Luen at the same time, and an extremely large and rapid shock wave came swiftly. That speed is inevitable. The combination of skills displayed by 2 imperial powerhouses must be endless. In the original book, Zoro blocked this move just an instant, and he burst into blood and passed out to death. Enough to see the power of this trick. But now, this trick is used towards Luen. Suddenly, seeing that huge combined fencing aura suddenly hit him, Luen's eyes had returned to seriousness. The black warrior that Susanoo turned into immediately raised the huge energy long sword in his hands with both hands. Zoro, Johnny, Joseph. It happens that you can study today. How to use the swordsmanship taught by your teacher. As Luen's voice fell, the energy sword slammed forward. Dowley. 3600 Trouble Phoenix. What? Need time. I saw a violent slash wave slashing towards the Hakoku ahead, and this slash wave blasted above the sword energy like a cannonball. Boom. There was only a loud noise. An incomparably vast airflow instantly swept out in all directions. Hoo. The momentum that swept through the air was huge, and everyone's clothes were humped. Boom. Then again, it seemed that there was a blast of thunder. In an instant the sky was filled with endless wind and sand, and the wind and sand swept up. Luen used open black lens bracket sword flow 3600 annoyance winds close black lens bracket, and the 3 Zoro displayed open black lens bracket sword flow 360 annoyance winds close black lens bracket. According to the rules of naming, the more troubles, the stronger the power. Obviously, the power of the slash wave of Luen's sword flow far surpassed the attack performed by the Zoro trio. Finally, after the gunpowder smoke has dissipated, Luen, Kaido, and Charlotte are once again revealed. Both Kaido and Charlotte Linlin looked at Luen with solemn expressions. Compared with the Hunting Island battle 2 months ago, Kaido has discovered that Luen's strength is probably stronger than it was 2 months ago. It was able to contend against the attacks of the 2 Four Emperors on its own. Kaido frowned slightly and said solemnly, Luen. In just 2 months, your strength has improved so much. No wonder even Linlin can't help you at all. Hear what Kaido said. Charlotte Linlin said incredulously, Kaido, what did you say? You said that Luen's strength is stronger than 2 months ago. But once we reach our level of strength, it is really difficult to increase our strength again. How can it be possible to have strength improvement in just 2 months? It is true. Even Kaido and Charlotte Linlin can't believe that Luen's strength has improved compared with 2 months ago. At this time, I saw Luen standing proudly in the wind, and the black warrior that Susanoo turned into was also awe-inspiring. Actually, through the system check-in in the past 2 months, Luen's physique and Reiatsu have been greatly improved, so that his combat effectiveness has naturally improved. So this is where he dared to face the 2 Four Emperors alone today. Kaido and Charlotte Linlin both had wrinkled expressions, and they immediately looked at each other again. Hands on. Immediately, the 2 Four Emperors suddenly jumped up with incomparable tacit understanding. The figures of the two jumped up in the air, and they each raised their weapons and attacked Luen. Seeing 2 Four Emperors rushing, Luen's eyes are also exalted again. Boom. Suddenly underfoot, the black warrior jumped up again with an energy sword in his hand, and directly faced Kaido and Charlotte Linlin without fear. At this time, the indomitable turbulent weather situation just instantly shocked countless people around him. One person faces 2 Four Emperors, and there is no fear at all. It's not an exaggeration even to describe Luen as a king. This is the true king-level strength in the legend, even if it is compared with the One Piece king back then. Even facing a strong man like Luen, I am afraid that just by relying on his aura, ordinary people can die in fear. Countless pirates watched Luen rushing towards Kaido and Big Mom with stunned eyes. Their eyes were already filled with horror. When the 3 Zoro saw such a scene, the eyes of the 3 of them Mono Jiao flashed with incomparable excitement. Master actually faced 2 Four Emperors alone. Such a terrifying aura, it's like an ancient behemoth. The gap between us and the Master is like a gulf, which should not be bridged in this lifetime. Teacher Zephyr. Zoro sighed helplessly and said, Ah la la, even if I am allowed to practice for another 10 years, I am afraid I will be far from Master's level. After today, I am afraid this world will no longer be the era of pirates. Kuzan. Suddenly there is a strong hunch in my heart. Paused. It belongs to the era of Luen. Hear Kuzan's cry. I seem to be on Luen, seeing the shadow of the king of this era. Although I have always wanted to be the world's #1 swordsman. It seems that President Luen can deal with 2 Four Emperors alone. Zephyr couldn't help showing a thoughtful smile. Kuzan also noticed the scene like Luen and couldn't help but spit out. But as long as there is a master, I am afraid that my goal can only become the world's 2nd swordsman. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. There is no doubt that Zoro is very self-aware. Chapter 120 The Shame of the Twin Emperors. Advertise here. At this time, seeing Luen hit, Kaido and Charlotte immediately greeted them. The giant sword and mace are slammed at Luen. Thunder 8 trigrams. The Emperor's sword. Kaido's mace was filled with violent red lightning, and Charlotte's great sword Napoleon was surrounded by raging flames. Both 4 Emperors wrapped Conqueror's Haki on their weapons. This was a combined blow of the 2 overlords. Need time. Luen also unfolded Conqueror's Haki, and also wrapped around the energy sword. Boom. The weapons of both sides collided in the air. Zzz. The thunder in the sky suddenly started. Luen faced the 2 Four Emperors Kaido and Charlotte alone, and the endless power instantly impacted everyone present. That was the collision of Conqueror's Haki. The Conqueror's Haki used by Luen alone was able to compete with Kaido and Charlotte. Boom. There was thunder in the sky. The dark clouds in the sky were shaken apart by monstrous aura, and even the sky seemed to split apart on both sides. Quick look. The sky is about to crack. So strong Conqueror's Haki. Moreover, Luen only relied on one person's Haki, but he actually resisted the 2 Four Emperors' Haki. This is the real king. Countless pirates 500 looked at the sky that seemed to be split, and their expressions were already full of consternation. The conquerors of Luen actually competed against the conquerors of the two four emperors. Enough to be visible. How powerful is Luoen's aura? Kuzan looked up at the sky. No doubt. President Luoen's conqueror's Hawkeye is the strongest conqueror's Hawkeye I have ever seen. This is the real king. Zephyr shot the two pirates to death and looked towards the sky, even his expression could not help but be surprised. Fortunately, Luen is not a pirate. Otherwise, the one piece of this era must be Luen. This is also the strongest conquerors I have ever seen in my life. Even the pirate king Roger may not be as good as him. The three Zoro who had been seriously injured were lying on the ground, and their eyes were already full of consternation. So strong. This is the power of the master. It's not like we can compare. The terrifying conqueror's Hawkeye. It is said that only those who are kings can have this kind of Hawkeye. This is a kind of Hawkeye that is born with it, and it cannot be obtained through acquired practice at all. The Zoro trio saw their master facing the two four emperors alone, and they didn't even fall in the slightest. No doubt. The strength of Luen surpassed the imagination of countless people present. What? Luen, Laozi is going to kill you. Kaido saw that his joint attack with Charlotte Linlin was also ineffective, and he immediately roared and burst into force. What? You kid. Why is the strength so powerful? Asshole. Go to hell. Charlotte Linlin also found that something was wrong. Luen was able to fight the combined forces of their two emperors alone, and Napoleon also yelled with a huge sword in one hand. At the same time, Luen in Susanoo immediately waved Ryujin Jaka in his hand. Wow. A monstrous fire rose instantly, and even the Black Warrior's energy sword was covered with a fierce flame. Susanoo, Ryujin Jaka. The blade of the energy sword in the hands of the Black Warrior is already entwined with flames, as if it were an enlarged version of Ryujin Jaka. This is Luen's first attempt. Combining Susanoo's abilities with Ryujin Jaka, although it consumes a lot of physical strength and Reiatsu, it is undoubtedly powerful. The Black Warrior at this time. It's like an enlarged version of Luen holding Ryujin Jaka. Fire resistance. Seeing Kaido and Charlotte Linlin suddenly exert their strength. Luen immediately shouted angrily, and the Black Warrior shook with a large flame sword in his hand. Boom. Need time. I only saw Kaido and Charlotte Linlin's huge bodies, nearly 10 meters high, flying out straight AJCG toward the rear. Boom 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 boom. Kaido and Charlotte fell on the ground at the same time, and their feet stepped deeply into the mud on the ground. Accompanied by a loud noise. The huge physiques of Kaido and Big Mom finally stopped, but the faces of both of them were already very unsightly. This guy, even by relying on one's own strength, it shook us into the air. It's a shame. Big Mom couldn't help but said angrily. Kaido's expression was also full of unpleasant colors, even clenching his teeth to look at Luen. Can you control the Black Giant's ability to use the body? Sure enough, Luen's strength is stronger than 2 months ago. At his level of strength, there is still room for improvement. This guy. At this time, the pirates not far away were shocked when they saw this. What? My god. Luen shocked the two four emperors, Mother and Kaido, by just one person. What kind of terrifying power is this guy? There are people in this world who can do this. It's incredible. The three Zoro were seriously injured. They are already dumbfounded. This is. Master's strength is so powerful. I'm afraid it's a bit too scary. This is a single move that knocked two four emperors into the air. I am afraid that few people in the world can do this. With a big hand, Kuzan released 2 ice spears to force back the flames, and then looked at Kaido and Big Mom in surprise. President Luen, he really surprises people too much. Even if Kaido and Big Mom are not injured, this scene is too incredible. Boom. Smash the dragon scroll. While many pirates were watching the distance, Zephyr smashed the iron arm smasher towards the ground. Another punch killed several pirates. Now there are only more than 50 cadres and pirates in the Big Mom pirate group. When these pirates see Zephyr, they can't help but take a break. That guy Luen, it's terribly powerful. When I discussed with him before, it was estimated that he was far from using his full strength. Everyone present was amazed. Luen still stands proudly alone. Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the two four emperors, both have gray-headed faces, and the double emperors' looks are very ugly. The two of them were shocked by Luen in a single blow, which was a shame for them. Chapter 121. He hasn't tried his best yet. Bankai. Advertise here. Hoo. The harsh cold wind was blowing wantonly. Luen stood proudly on the spot, a pair of cold eyes clinging to Kaido and Charlotte Linlin like this. Both Kaido and Charlotte Linlin know very well in their hearts that they must not let a guy like Luen continue to grow up. Otherwise, it will bring immeasurable consequences. He must be killed as soon as possible. Dragon form. However, Kaido's body suddenly swelled, his muscles swelled, and blue scales began to grow on his skin. In this form of Kaido, his strength and speed have been greatly improved, and his defense and resilience have also been greatly improved. Obviously this is the strongest form of Kaido. And Big Mom is also a big move without showing weakness. Thundercloud Zeus. Sun Prometheus. The two strongest Hormats were suspended directly beside Big Mom. Great Sword Napoleon. Napoleon also held the Great Sword in his right hand. Big Mom also displayed her 3 strongest Hormats forms. Suddenly, a huge pressure spread from Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, and even Luen couldn't help frowning. The two four emperors no longer kept their hands, but each displayed their strongest form. Obviously, even the two four emperors have already felt the pressure. Kaido, go together. Be sure to get rid of this guy. With a roar from Charlotte Linlin, Kaido nodded immediately, and then leapt towards Luen along with Charlotte Linlin. Now that the two four emperors have displayed their strongest forms, in fact, even Luen has felt a lot of pressure. At this time, double knife flow. The voice fell. Susanoo's left hand also gathered an energy sword, and the energy sword in his right hand formed a double sword flow. What? Master actually also uses double knife flow. What's the situation? Zoro, who fell to the ground and was badly injured, was already excited when he saw this scene. What? Ming, Kaido and Big Mom were already in the air, and there was a loud shout in their mouths. Both of them have performed their strongest form. Zhong 3 Yin Naluo, Kaido had jumped into the air, and spinning his mace, Conqueror's Haki had been wrapped around the iron rod. The mace was full of black lightning, and it seemed to be full of endless power just from a distance. Big thunder. Thundercloud Zeus released a huge falling thunder towards Luen. Heaven is on fire. The sun Prometheus also released fierce flames, still shooting at Luen wrapped in Susanoo. Charlotte Linlin held the huge sword Napoleon again and suddenly swung it towards Luen. The spear of Elbaf is prestigious. 2 imperial powerhouses. 4 powerful moves. Together they attacked Susanoo suddenly. Luen standing inside Susanoo wrinkled his eyes immediately. Obviously, now Kaido in the form of Dragonman and B1G Mom in the form of the 3 strongest homets, the strength of these 2 four emperors has been shown to the fullest. Even Luen felt the tremendous pressure. 4 emperors deserve to be 4 emperors. Ni Dao Lu 2 slash, climb the building. With a shout from Luen's mouth, he fell. The black samurai turned into Susanoo headed toward the front, holding an energy sword in both hands and slashing from bottom to top. These 2 energy knives have entangled the pinnacle armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki, and the flames of Ryujin Jaka have also entangled them. What? Go to hell. Luen, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, the 2 four emperors, have even begun to hunt. Cloud time. First, Kaido held the mace in both hands and slammed his head towards Luen suddenly. Boom. The mace collided with Luen's double knives in the air, and endless air currents swept out in all directions. Immediately afterwards, boom, there was a deafening noise suddenly. Thundercloud Homitz's big falling thunder bombarded Susanoo directly. Since Susanoo is responding to Kaido's attack at this time, he cannot fully defend against other attacks. Boom. A huge thunder fell on Susanoo's body, and 200 million appeared on Susanoo's energy body. Then the flames hit Luen again. A fierce flame swallowed Susanoo in an instant. But this is not over yet. With the prestige that Big Mom displayed, the giant sword aura smashed directly on Susanoo's body. Boom. Because Luen was dealing with Kaido's attack at this time, he couldn't deal with this infinitely powerful sword energy with all his strength. It takes time. I saw that Susanoo's surface began to crack a fine line, and the fine line began to spread around. Yes, that's right. A crack appeared on the energy body known as Susanoo, and the crack was spreading towards the surroundings. At this time, Big Mom saw such an attack actually produced an effect. What? Immediately roared. Carrying the great sword, Napoleon suddenly jumped towards Luen and slashed out. At this time, Luen was in a stalemate with Kaido. Kaido smashed down from the sky with a mace in both hands, while Luen controlled Susanoo holding a double knife to block it upwards. The Emperor soared, seeing that Luen and Kaido are deadlocked. Big Mom took this opportunity to raise the giant sword in his hand. Napoleon once again struck towards Luen. Just now, Luen watched Big Mom attack him again. Susanoo's hands suddenly shook. Boom. Kaido in the form of a dragon flew out again in an instant. Susanoo held the energy sword in both hands, and then swung towards the Big Mom that had rushed over. Boom. It's Haki's air collision again. 0. Look for flowers. And Big Mom's body was shocked again by Luen. Bang bang bang. Both Kaido and Big Mom's bodies flew upside down and hit the ground heavily. But in the meanwhile, Susanoo covering Luen's body has numerous cracks on the surface. Kaido and Big Mom got up, they were not injured at all. But when they saw a crack on Susanoo, the two of them instantly overjoyed and said, Linlin, it seems that it has finally worked. Our combined attack can break through Luen's defense. It is true, under the strongest form of the 2 four emperors level powerhouses, and still under the combined attack of the strongest form. Finally broke Susanoo's defense. The pirates not far away were also happy when they saw this. Broken Luen's defense. Kaido in the form of a dragon and a mother in the form of the 3 strongest Hormies. Under the strongest form of the 2 four emperors. Oh. They have broken through Luen's defense together. That's great. The remaining dozens of pirates were also extremely happy. However, Luen, who was inside Susanoo, saw that Susanoo was already covered with cracks. It deserves to be the 2 kings of the sea. Under the joint attack of the 2. Even Susanoo can't hold them to attack. Susanoo immediately dissipated with a big move. Thus revealing the real person of Luen. He held Ryujin Jaka across his chest, and then couldn't help but smile jokingly. Hey, let me say. It just broke Susanoo's defense. Is it worth being so happy? You two have used all your strength, but I haven't used all my strength yet. The voice fell. Everyone present couldn't help but stop and watch Luen. What did he say? What did Luen say? No way. My goodness. Luen actually said that he hasn't used all his strength. But he actually said that he hasn't used all his strength. Point 5. The three Zoro also watched this scene intently. Does this monster know what he is talking about? Bankai. Obviously, Kaido and his mother, the two four emperors, have already used the strongest form and strength. Has he not used all his strength? President Luen. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Even Zephyr and Kuzan couldn't help but frown. You even said that you didn't use your full strength just now. Just under the unbelievable gaze of everyone. At this time, he obviously faced two four emperors. Luoen's eyes suddenly became serious, and Ryujin Jaka in his hand had already crossed in front of him. But he is already facing the attack of two four emperors. Master, what did he say? Gosh, how much strength does the master hide? Chapter 122 The Ashes of Baitiondi. Cut Big Mom. Advertise here. Spiritual time. I only saw around the blade of Ryujin Jaka, and the rising flames were instantly contained in the blade. Canfire is two knife. A rush of hot air emerged from the blade, and the air around the blade was twisted. Luen only feels that Reiatsu is being drawn wildly by Zanpakuto, but at the same time it also brings an unparalleled sense of power to his body. That is the feeling that power is surging. Suddenly. Luen suddenly raised his head, then glanced around in a circle. When the pirates around saw Luoen's posture, their faces suddenly showed incomparable surprise. This is a terrifying look. Just to feel the aura of Luoen's body, it seems to be crushed by him. It's like a tremor from the depths of the soul. What a terrifying breath. Luen said that he hadn't exerted all his strength just now, and now it seems that what he said should be true. Zephyr felt this, 5-0, fear that seemed to come from the depths of his soul, and suddenly stopped. Then involuntarily looked at Luen. What a terrifying sense of oppression. It seems that the current Luen has changed a person. How can such an ancient and terrifying breath appear in a young man in his 20s? It is true. After using Bankai, Zanpakuto Kanha Teisho released an extremely ancient and terrifying aura on the blade. This aura, even a strong man like Zephyr, felt fear from the depths of his soul. Kuzan can't help but sigh. Ah la la, the breath of President Luen is really terrifying. When I killed Bullet on Hunting Island before, it seemed that President Luen used this move. Is it called Bankai? The breath of that knife is really terrifying. When I was on the Hunting Island, Bullet came to the Hunting Island and tried to kill Luen. In the end, Luen used Bankai's ability to burn Bullet's body to ashes with just one knife. Kuzan was the only witness on the island at the time. He could see with his own eyes that Luen killed Bullet with just one knife, and even the body was burned to ashes by the knife. Therefore, Kuzan knows exactly how terrifying Luoen's move is. To know, the strength of Bullet may not be weaker than that of a four emperors, but even a strong man like Bullet was slashed by Luen. At this time, the three of Zoro were also terrified, and their eyes were full of terrified expressions. The strongest in this world are the 12 great knives. Master, this knife feels very difficult. It's like a weapon that doesn't belong to this world, and even the level of this knife may have surpassed the level of the supreme knife. Even the black sword in Eagle Eye's hand Wushwang Da Kue Dao Ya, which is known as the strongest in the world, is far inferior to the master's Ryujin Jaka. At this time, everyone felt a sense of trembling that seemed to come from the depths of the soul, and even the soul and consciousness had been affected by this knife. And now among everyone, the most deeply felt nature is Kaido and Big Mom. They are standing opposite Luen. Both of them can clearly perceive that the knife in Luen's hand is full of endless power. Bankai. Damn it. Is this another trick? A hint of fear flashed in Kaido's eyes. When he was on the Hunting Island 2 months ago, Luen used Bankai's abilities and nearly killed Kaido with a single blow. It can be said, Kaido is the first enemy in this world to use Bankai against Luen. So Kaido couldn't help touching the dragon's horns on his head, and looked at Luen with lingering fear. When he was on the Hunting Island, if it hadn't been for Kaido, he would have escaped Luen's knife in time. I am afraid that Luen cut off his head directly with that knife, not just one of his dragon horns. Big Mom said in surprise. Kaido, do you even feel scared? You have the strongest Zone Fruit ability. Kaido is a fruit-capable person in the form of a blue dragon of the Zone Phantom Beast, possessing the world's top defense and recovery capabilities. Therefore, it is also called the Undead, the King of Singles, and so on. But at this time, when Kaido saw Luen using Bankai's ability, his eyes flashed with fear. Lin, I personally faced Luen's move 2 months ago. I am afraid that only me in this world really knows the infinite power of this trick. I am afraid that even the two of us will absolutely not be able to resist this move. Hear Kaido's words like this. Even Big Mom can't help but frown and groan. Although it's a couple, neither of us may be Luen's opponent. But now we two are working together. What's more, we have broken his defense just now. There is nothing to be afraid of. Although Big Mom also felt the power on the blade of Kanha Taito, she did not believe that Luen could defeat 2 emperors alone. But when Kaido felt this breath at this time, he kept frowning and there was fear in his heart. Then he suddenly jumped into the air, his body instantly turned into a blue dragon and shouted. Lin, come onto my back. The killer copper I prepared should be coming soon. The two of us are definitely not his opponents. Hearing that Kaido had already retired. But a trace of contempt flashed in Big Mom's eyes. He even shouted loudly, Zeus, Prometheus, come with me. We must kill Luen and his 3 apprentices to avenge the stars. The voice fell. Big Mom attacked Luen again. But the azure dragon in the sky said in amazement. Lin, no, let's run away first. Even Kaido, the beast who claims to be the king of singles to death, already has fear in his heart at this time. But Big Mom didn't seem to care at all, and didn't take Kaido's reminder seriously. Even can't help but sneer. Kaido, I really misunderstood you. Obviously we have broken Luen's defense. Now we should launch a counterattack. If you are scared, then I will go first. While talking. Big Mom once again raised the giant sword Napoleon in his hand. Weo, a giant sword chi struck Luen. And the next moment. Luen, who was not far away, suddenly looked slightly drunk, and immediately swiped the residual fire sword in his hand directly at the Big Mom. Remnant Fire Tadao Badian Ashes. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. The audience was silent. Thump. Immediately. Do not. At this moment, then Kanhuo Tai sword in his hand slashed towards Big Mom in the air. Even time and space seemed to have stopped. The Big Mom, who had raised the giant sword in her hand, was cut in half by Luen directly. Luen only felt that his Reiatsu seemed to be drained instantly. The eyes of all the people present were suddenly filled with incomparable horror, even Kaido in midair had his eyes widened. 2.6. Need time. Blood spattered. The 2 halves fell to the ground and there was no breath anymore. But seeing Big Mom's eyes have suddenly lost their look, there is only endless despair and unwillingness in their eyes. Big Mom's extremely defensive body, which is known as a steel balloon, was thus directly turned into 2 halves. Chapter 123 Killer Copper. Ancient Weapon Pluton. Advertise here. At this time, the entire battlefield has been horribly silent. The cut of Luen directly split the Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, into 2 halves. The 2 halves of the huge body have fallen heavily to the ground. Call. With the flame rising suddenly. The huge corpse burned and instantly turned into ashes. Because the capable person had died, the 3 Hormies also lost their souls and fell directly to the ground and turned into nothingness. Do not. With Kaido's cry, all the talents finally came back to their senses. At this time, Kaido, who had turned into a blue dragon, flew into the sky desperately. But his mouth is still crying in pain. Lin. Luen, you damn bastard. You wait for Laozi. With a cry of pain and then put down a cruel word, Qinglong has disappeared into the sky. Boom. The flame embers suddenly spread their wings and followed Kaido into the sky. It just disappeared from the eyes of the degrading eyes. At this time, the pirates in the distance were not calm for an instant. When Kaido turned into a blue dragon and escaped, now they finally reacted. Big Mom is dead. Yes, Big Mom has been beheaded by Luen. He was beheaded by Luen without even saying his last words. Luen immediately relieved Benkai's state, and then gasped for 09. The previous move Kanhuo Tai sword North Heaven and Earth Ashes almost directly drained Luen's Reiatsu. With this long-distance slash, everything that was touched by the slash will be wiped out. And Big Mom was beheaded by Luen's move, and even the soul and body had been turned into nothingness. Mother. Finally, the pirate reacted and roared. But their eyes were already filled with shock and fear. Because they are the captain of the Big Mom pirate group, Charlotte Lin, one of the 4 emperors. Already killed in battle, not even the corpse remained. Mother, what, asshole, Mom died in battle. Mom actually died in battle. Damn Luen, what? These pirates have been killed by Zephyr, leaving only more than 20 people, when they saw Big Mom also turn to ashes. At this time, the pirates were already dead. Thump. Even some pirates knelt directly on the ground and had already lost the courage to fight. Big Mom is dead. Their mother is dead. The remaining pirates are completely mobs. Mom is dead. It's over. Ended. Everything is over. Not only is my mother not Luen's opponent. Even the combination of Mom and Kaido is not Luen's opponent. Luen, this guy is too strong too terribly. They looked at Luen helplessly, their eyes full of fear and shock. Originally, they thought that 4 emperors would take action, and they would undoubtedly be able to defeat Luen and kill him. But obviously, their abacus was wrong. In the end, Luen only used one move, cutting the Big Mom in half and killing it. Such a powerful strength is simply beyond the reach of these pirates. Mom is dead. Kaido has escaped. What kind of bullshit singles out the king? What kind of bullshit is not dead? Even Kaido in front of Luen was scared to run away. Impossible to defeat. This is absolutely impossible to defeat. Only incomparable despair and unwillingness remained in the eyes of these pirates. Even if you want to escape now, you can't avoid it completely. Zephyr stood in front of these pirates, but his eyes looked at Luen not far away from time to time. Just one trick. Moreover, I just beheaded Big Mom with a single move. The strength of Luen is already so strong. Even Rox, the Sea Overlord of the Year, is probably not enough to kill 4 emperors with a single move, right? Step to step. Kuzan also slowly walked to Zephyr's side and then replied. Ms. Zephyr. Luen was also a trick before, killing Bullet, known as the heir of the devil. The strength of President Luen far exceeds everyone in this world. But it seems that using this ability called Bankai will consume a lot of President Luen. The 3 of Sulong who had been seriously injured saw that Big Mom had been beheaded, and the eyes of the 3 of them suddenly showed incomparable joy. Master. Master actually made a cut. And it was just a blow to kill Big Mom. The sword killed the 4 emperors in a second. I'm afraid that no one has been able to achieve this level since ancient times. Their faces are filled with pride and joy. The Zoro trio are proud of being Luen's apprentices. Even Zoro not only said, sure enough, as long as there is a master. My goal can only be the world's second swordsman. Master's strength is something I can't surpass in my entire life. Johnny Joseph and the 2 also reconciled. Boss Zoro. Don't be discouraged. Master's strength has completely surpassed the scope of human beings, right? It's not an exaggeration to call Master the power of God. Boss Zoro, it's better for you to compare with others, you don't need to compare with our master. Yeah, Master's power is not something humans can achieve at all. When the Zoro 3 saw that Big Mom had died, their hearts were naturally extremely excited. At the same time, on the sea in the distance, only saw a huge pirate ship sailing on the sea. 80% of the materials of this pirate ship are made of sea stone, and the entire hull reveals an extremely heavy and ancient atmosphere. Even the size of this giant pirate ship should be 2 or 3 times the size of the marine warship. And on the bow of the pirate ship, there was a muzzle with a diameter of at least 30 meters. The muzzle is huge, and the muzzle is made of the hardest sea stone in the world. A pirate flag of beasts pirates hung from the mast of the ship. The first person in the crowd is tall and obese, and has a pigtail behind his head. It is the Plague Quinn, one of the 3 plagues of beasts pirates. Just now, it's Kaido-sama. Master Kaido is back. Lord Quinn, look at it. With the shout of an investigator, Quinn directly raised his head and looked into the sky. Sure enough, only a blue dragon flew down from the sky, and then landed on this huge pirate ship. Immediately afterwards, the flames and embers also fell on the deck of the pirate ship. Master Kaido, Quinn shouted immediately. Kaido was still full of anger at this time, and even murmured to himself with lingering fears. That fellow Luen, but it's really horrible. Fortunately I run fast, but it's a pity Linlin. 500 inches. Poor Linlin. I will avenge you. Mingming woo woo woo. Kaido even burst into tears under his emotions. Yan Calamity Cinder briefly talked to Quinn about what had happened just now. Need time. The people present were shocked. What? Luen killed Big Mom with a single blow. Don't even leave the body. Has this guy's strength grown to this level? Quinn said incredulously. Then Kaido immediately regained his serious expression. Fortunately, Laozi escaped quickly. Otherwise I will die there like Linlin. Luen this guy, his strength completely surpassed everyone's imagination. Paused. There was another cruel look in his eyes. If you want to defeat Luen, it seems that only this Pluton is used. This is the hard work we spent 28 years in Wano-kuni. Yes, now at their feet, it is the Pluton, known as one of the 3 ancient weapons, which claims to be able to destroy an island with just one shot. The 3 ancient weapons all possess the ability to destroy the world. Immediately Quinn gave orders to the pirates. Go to Hunting Island. Just use our Pluton to erase Luen from this world. Paused. Quinn's eyes also showed a sullen smile and then calmly said. Master Kaido, just put 100 hearts on it. This is the highest masterpiece that we have produced for 28 years. No matter how powerful Luen has, he will definitely not be able to block Pluton's shot. Chapter 124 Marine Fleet is coming. Buster call. Advertise here. Now, only 20 or 30 pirates remained on the island. We must know that the original Big Mom pirates, Cadre pirates, but there are close to 100 people. But most of the pirates have been killed by Zephyr. These pirates all showed great pain and sadness on their faces. It's over. It's over. Mom is dead. She has even perished in this world, and there is no dead body left. Our pirate group is defeated. The Big Mom pirate group will no longer exist. Only endless despair and unwillingness remained in their eyes. To know, even yesterday, they were still the overlord of the sea, the Big Mom pirate group, one of the 4 emperors of New World. And today, all the stars of the Big Mom pirate group have fallen, and even the captain of Big Mom has been killed. Only dozens of them are left unused cadres. Some of them had already collapsed, and they couldn't help kneeling on the ground and shouting. Master Luen, we have already lost, we have completely lost. Just let the rest of us go. Heard these words, Zephyr and Kuzan couldn't help looking at Luen. They both obeyed Luen's orders. To know, now on this island, except for these pirates, the remaining 6 people are all members of the Hunters Guild. And Luen is also the president of the Hunters Guild. It is precisely because of this. Both Kuzan and Zephyr will choose to follow Luen's orders. Master Luen, please bypass us. Our brothers and sisters are all dead. Even my mother was killed by you. We have no threat to you. Let us go. Yes, yes, please let us go. Many pirates knelt on the ground and prayed for Luen. The arrogant expression in their eyes had disappeared. Now they just want to pray that Luen can let them go and give them a way out. They all know that if they dare to resist, there will never be any chance. The chirping voices of these pirates came into Luen's ears, and both Zephyr and Kuzan looked at Luen. The badly injured Zoro 3 also looked at their master Luen, wondering how Luen would deal with these pirates. All eyes are on Luen's body. Spare us, Lord Luen. We will never do bad things again. I will never retaliate against you. There are also some pirates seeking truth in history. However, Luen's expression did not show any mercy, and even directly said to Zephyr and Kuzan. Zephyr, Kuzan, you think these pirates are spared? Will ordinary people be happy? The voice fell. Both Zephyr and Kuzan nodded in understanding. Ice Age. A huge air conditioning swept out in an instant, but in an instant it turned the pirates into ice sculptures. Kuzan is the real strength of Admiral, and now the highest reward for these pirates is only about 400 million Pele. Therefore, these pirates did not have any resistance in front of Kuzan, they just turned into ice sculptures in an instant. Next moment, Zephyr also jumped up and raised the iron arm smasher with his right arm, and then blasted directly at the pirates who were frozen into ice sculptures. Smash the tornado. Boom. With a loud noise, all the ice sculptures shattered and the remaining dozens of pirates were all wiped out. Pirates are pirates after all. How many burnings, killings and looting have been done by these pirates, I am afraid that even they themselves can't remember. Let them go. It was a dream. Of course, Zephyr and Kuzan understood the meaning of Luen. Since then, Big Mom Pirate Group, including Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, all cadres and above pirates were wiped out. One of the 4 emperors, Big Mom, was also the first 4 emperors to die after Whitebeard. And he died under the hands of the Hunters Guild, and died under the hands of Luen, the president of the Hunters Guild. And just now, Luen is preparing to take the 3 of Zoro back to the hunting island for healing. Suddenly, Kuzan and Zephyr also frowned at the same time. Luen couldn't help narrowing his eyes and then slowly said. It seems that today's affairs are not over yet. Which power is it? Marine. The voice fell. I only saw white fleets appearing from the edge of the front coast, and the flags of these white fleets were Marine's flags. This is the Marine fleet. The entire fleet has been encircling the island from all sides. It seems that Marine has already noticed our battle with Kaido and Big Mom. So you want to take this opportunity to deal with me? Interesting. Luen smiled sternly in his eyes. Zephyr and Kuzan are already standing beside Luen. President Luen, it seems that Marine and world government, they want to watch us fight the 4 emperors snipe. The size of such a large Marine fleet. Did the world government initiate the Buster Call? As Zephyr and Kuzan of the original Marine Admiral, both of them have participated in Buster Call. But they both hate Buster Call very much. And because of the previous position of Marine, they are actually involuntarily. Luen scanned for a week. There are Marine fleets close to the island in all directions, and the number of Marine fleets exceeds at least 30 ships. Then jokingly smiled and said, Buster Call. In the fleet ahead, the largest command ship appeared. On the command ship stood a man who looked like an uncle with a cane. The world government must want to eradicate the Hunters Guild, so as to contain the influence of the Hunters Guild on the world in the cradle. It seems so. Akainu has become the marshal. With the voice falling. Marine Admiral, do they want to destroy our Hunter Guild at all costs? Kuzan's eyes slightly said, or the new admiral. Is it Kizaru? The old guys in the world government, Lees, have long looked upon me. Which admiral is leading the team? You don't need to guess that this Buster Call must be in order from the world government. Luen, who is a traverser, murmured to himself. This time he is in charge of Buster Call. Fujitora is exhausted. Chapter 125 Zephyr's killing intent. Whitebeard 2. Advertise here. The voice fell. Both Zephyr and Kuzan looked surprised. Fujitora, the new admiral, President Luen, do you know him? Hear the question of the two. Luen couldn't help but smiled jokingly and replied. It's a acquaintance. Luen, who is a translator, certainly knows Fujitora. At the same time, pirates command the ship. Standing in front of the deck, Fujitora let the sea breeze blow wantonly, thinking straight about the meaning of this Buster Call operation. Eliminate the Hunters Guild. But today's Hunters Guild is so supported and loved by the people. Why does the world government take action against the Hunters Guild? Even the common people think that the Hunters Guild is the real justice. Thinking like this in my heart. Fujitora couldn't help sighing heavily. He didn't even think about the meaning of this Buster Call, and he had doubts about the justice of the world government and Marine. Just now. A Marine soldier came up and said respectfully. Mr. Yishao, we have surrounded this island, and all 6 members of the Hunters Guild are on the island. 500 inches Hunters Guild President, the strongest bounty hunter Luen, and his apprentice the 3 swordsman Zoro, the sword saint Johnny, and the sword god Joseph. There are also the original Marine Admiral Aokiji Kuzan who has joined the Hunters Guild, and the original Marine Admiral Black Arm Zephyr who has just joined the Hunters Guild. Of these 6 people in the Hunters Guild, all of them are powerful men who are famous on the sea. Even the name of the weakest Zoro trio shook the sea after defeating the Pirate League. It can be said that these 6 people are all well-known figures at sea. Immediately afterwards, the Marine soldier asked again. Mr. Yishao, do you want to start Buster Call now? Please indicate. The meaning of launching a Buster Call is to carry out an indiscriminate and destructive attack on the area where the signal is sent to completely eliminate things and people in an area that threatens the rule of the world government. Reaching the point where the Buster Call can be launched is enough to prove that the other party is the one that the world government must eradicate. And without a doubt, the world government launched a Buter Call against the Hunters Guild, which means that the world government has made a decision to eradicate the Hunters Guild headed by Luen. Hear the soldier's question. AJCG. Fujitora said slowly. Already surrounded Luen and them. Buster Call slow down for now. I still have many questions to ask Luen and the 2 former Marine Admiral. The voice fell. The soldier couldn't help asking. Mr. Yishao, but we are here to eradicate the Hunters Guild. It stands to reason that the Buster Call attack should be launched immediately. However, it seems that Fujitora doesn't care at all. And said as if mumbling. Actually, I want to ask Luen what is true justice. I also want to ask Kuzan and Zephyr, the former admiral, why they chose to join the Hunters Guild. It's also because of the distress like me. Today, Fujitora has doubts about the justice of the world government and Marine. So he is also very curious. Kuzan and Zephyr are also Marine Admiral, exactly the same as Fujitora today. What is the reason? How about letting Kuzan and Zephyr, 2 former Admiral, join the Hunters Guild? Is it really as stubborn as the folks say? The Hunter Guild is the real justice. Fujitora is not sure, so he eagerly wanted to inquire about these people. Thinking like this in my heart. Just now. Boom boom boom. A burly man walked over. Every step he took, even the deck shook slightly. The man has a lot of flesh in his upper body, but his feet are very thin. The hair grew to the legs, the sideburns on both sides were tied into braids, and there were 3 shocking scars on his body. And behind the man was an old woman with a short stature. The old woman wore thick red lips, wore sunglasses and hung a cane, and her face was already heavily wrinkled. The old woman shouted directly. Weevil. Go slow. I can't keep up. Weevil scratched his head and replied blankly. Mother sorry. Next time I will pay attention. The tall man is Edward Weevil of 7 Warlords of the Sea, and this old woman is his mother Miss Bajan. Immediately afterwards, Miss Ba Jin said to Fujitora. Fujitora Admiral, why haven't you started Buster Call? What are you waiting for? Fujitora said frankly, I want to go to the island first. The voice fell. Seeing that Fujitora just jumped, he jumped towards the island in front of him. Weevil, let's keep up. This mission is to destroy the Hunters Guild. With the voice of Miss Ba Jin falling. Good mom. Weevil put Miss barking on his shoulder. Boom. The huge figure also leapt towards the island. On the island, Luen, Zephyr, and Kuzan all stood together, and then looked up at Fujitora and Weevil on the shore. At this time, the moment Zephyr saw Weevil, a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He turned out to be here. Heard these words, even Kuzan was a little confused and couldn't help asking. Ms. Zephyr, do you know these 2 people? That's why I opted out of Marine and joined the Hunters Guild. Edward Weevil is Zephyr's enemy, the enemy who killed his countless students and severed his right arm. The world government even recruited him as Shichibukai. He killed so many Marines and also cut off your arm, master. Sure enough, leaving Marine to join the Hunters Guild is the most correct choice. Kuzan was once again disappointed by the justice of Marine and the world government. Zephyr, I didn't expect to see him today. Let you take revenge today. Heard these words, Luen said solemnly, my right hand was cut off by this pirate, who killed all the students on my boat. However, the world government took a fancy to his strength comparable to Admiral, and insisted on recruiting him to become 7 Warlords of the Sea. Zephyr lifted the iron arm grinder in his right hand and said coldly. Edward, Weevil, Chapter 126. The existence of Shichibukai has humiliated the name of justice. Advertise here. Step to step, with the sound of footsteps. Weevil brought Miss Bajan and Fujitora also came to Luen with a cane. Zephyr looked at Weevil with murderous eyes. Miss Ba Jin couldn't help showing a sneer after seeing Zephyr. Yo, isn't this the original Marine Admiral Zephyr? Abandoned the identity of Marine, and even chose to join the Hunters Guild. This is simply a shame for Marine and world government. How are you still used to using your new arm? The old woman's voice was extremely sharp and awkward. And the words are full of provocation. Asshole. The old man is going to kill you. You mother and son bastards. Zephyr scolded and was about to step forward. Mention of this new arm reminds Zephyr of the tragic death of his students. It was Edward that Weevil killed countless students of Zephyr and cut off Zephyr's right hand. When he saw Zephyr, he seemed to have to do it. Weevil immediately took a step forward. Don't hit my mother, otherwise I will kill you. You guy. Although Weevil is in his 30s, his IQ is just like a child under 10. But Zephyr directly raised the iron arm smasher in his right hand and smashed it towards Weevil. Go to hell, Weevil, smash the giant arm. The top armament Hawkeye has covered the shredder, and has already blasted towards Weevil. Upon seeing this, Weevil also covered armament Hawkeye in his hand with the blade of the naginata, and slashed it out against Zephyr. Boom. The armament Hawkeye of the two collided violently. Boom. Following the loud noise, each stepped back a few steps away. It's not even up and down. Obviously, Zephyr hated his enemy Weevil very much. It was Weevil who killed so many students of Zephyr and severed Zephyr's right arm. The enemy was extremely jealous when they met. So Zephyr attacked Weevil directly. Admiral Fujitora did not stop Weevil. Luen did not stop Zephyr even more. At this time, Zephyr and Weevil stood opposite each other, and their expressions were extremely serious. Weevil still said with a dull look, "Who are you? Don't hurt my mother. I want to protect my mother." Heard these words, Zephyr scolded even more furiously. Damn bastard. You killed so many students of mine back then. You don't even remember me today. Miss Ba Jin stepped forward and looked at Zephyr openly and couldn't help but mockingly said. Weevil is still a child. He doesn't remember those things back then. Black arm Zephyr. Heard these words, Zephyr's forehead was already full of violent anger. What shit is still a child? He killed dozens of my students. This bastard. You must die here. Immediately raised the iron arm pulverizer and smashed it towards Weevil again, and Weevil also immediately used naginata to face him. Boom. The iron arm pulverizer collided with the naginata, and once again swept a huge air current. Drink. Weevil's hands shook suddenly, but seeing Zephyr's figure suddenly stepped back a few steps, and then ran a few steps before stopping. After the battle with the cadres and pirates of the Big Mom pirate group just now, plus Zephyr is already a little older and physically unable to keep up. In this matchup, was directly shocked by Weevil and backed away dozens of steps. Ms. Zephyr. Kuzan immediately stepped forward to support Zephyr. Asshole. Zephyr yelled angrily, but a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. Weevil is called Whitebeard too. According to Admiral Kizaru's evaluation, he has the strength of Whitebeard when he was young. And Miss Barking has always claimed to be Whitebeard's lover, and that Weevil is her illegitimate child with Whitebeard. Although the real situation is still unclear. But there is no doubt. Weevil's strength is indeed quite powerful, definitely comparable to Admiral's powerful combat strength. So this is why the world government recruited him as Shichibukai. Zephyr glared at Weevil, his eyes filled with extreme anger. Asshole. Damn it. Cough cough cough. He couldn't help spitting out blood in his mouth, clenching his teeth and looking at Weevil. Zero. Look for flowers. Miss Ba Jin urged Fujitora. Hey, Admiral Fujitora, have you forgotten the purpose of our trip? Just take this opportunity to wipe out the Hunters Guild. Hurry up and start the action. Weevil's eyes were also staring at Zephyr. As long as Miss Bajin gave an order, he would make a violent blow. In contrast, Fujitora looked unhurried. This time the army commander is an old man, and Weevil is just a lieutenant. It all depends on the old man when the action starts. You don't need to spend any more words here. I heard Fujitora's unceremonious words. Miss Bajin suddenly showed a look of despair. Oh. Asshole Fujitora, have you forgotten the goal of our operation? If the action is not ordered yet, I'm going to the world government to sue you. Fujitora still looks dismissive. As a pirate, Shichibukai went to the world government to file a complaint. Go. The world government, which prides itself on being just, even cooperated with the pirates, and honorably gave the pirates the so-called 7 warlords of the sea title. It's really ironic. It's really humiliating the word justice. Even if it is Admiral Fujitora in the original book, it is Ishin who wants to cancel the Shichibukai system. Because Shichibukai is a cooperative relationship between the pirates and the world government, does it mean that the evil pirates enter to cooperate with the world government? This is simply the biggest joke in the world. It is precisely because of this. Fujitora hates the pirate who is Shichibukai very much, so he has always questioned the justice of the world government and marine in his heart. At this time, hearing such mocking words from Fujitora, Miss Buchan suddenly showed some discomfort on his face and then furiously ordered. Weevil, it's up to you to execute these criminals from the Hunters Guild. We can definitely go back and claim a huge fortune from the world government. Hearing Miss Ba Jin's order, Weevil immediately narrowed his eyes, and then leapt towards Zephyr with a naginata in his hand. Yes mom. Kill these people. Go back and receive the reward. Cloud. Chapter 127 Follow the justice in your heart. Fujitora shoots. Advertise here. Boom. With a loud noise, only saw Weevil leaping up on one foot, holding a naginata and slashing towards Zephyr. Zephyr was the one who attacked his mother Miss Barkin just now, so Weevil's first target was Zephyr. Go to hell. I want to listen to my mother. Kill you. The naginata in his hand has wrapped around the extremely powerful armament Haki. However, Zephyr was already slightly injured at this time, and Kuzan stepped forward to take the place of Teacher Zephyr. Kuzan, let me do it. This guy is my enemy. Zephyr stepped out again, suddenly jumped into the air, and the iron arm pulverizer on his right arm blasted out again. Smash the storm. The punch that wrapped armament Haki blasted towards Weevil. What? Weevil roared. The two sides met hand to hand in midair. Hoo. The collision of the two attacks swept a huge air current. What? 503. Weevil yelled again, and he was shocked when he held the naginata in both hands. Boom. But he saw Zephyr's body fly upside down again, and he vomited another mouthful of blood in the air. Ah! Weevil still pressed towards Zephyr. Zephyr resisted the violent tumbling of the internal organs, still gritting his teeth and heading up. Asshole! I must avenge my students. You are going to die anyway. Zephyr roared. He supported his injured body again and greeted him. Boom boom boom. Weevil and Zephyr are at war. There is no doubt that Weevil has the upper hand. Zephyr seemed to be struggling to resist his attack, and was even forced to retreat by Weevil. The other side. Fujitora and Luen stood opposite each other. Step to step, Fujitora walked up towards Luen, but he didn't seem to have any hostility. Mr. Luen, the old man has been hearing from you when he was still in the public. I wanted to see you a long time ago. Paused. Fujitora couldn't help but touch her head awkwardly and said with a mockery. I closed these eyes myself, because I have seen too many things I don't want to see. But it seems a pity. Mr. Luen, who has been endorsed and supported by the people all this time. What kind of gentle face you should have. Fujitora's words are very gentle, and there is no sense of hostility at all. As a traverser, Luen naturally understands that Fujitora is gentle and straightforward, has a strong sense of justice, and attaches great importance to the safety of the people. It is most appropriate to describe Fujitora as righteous justice. Step to step, Luen also walked towards Fujitora and immediately shouted. Mr. Yishao, you haven't launched Buster Call for a long time, and you have come to meet me on this island in person. It looks like you want to know some answer, right? Hear Luen's words. A smile appeared on Fujitora's face. Ahahaha. Mr. Luen, you are right. I have always wanted to know what true justice is. Can you answer this question for me? However, Luen smiled jokingly and then replied. What is true justice? Actually, you should already have the answer in your heart. After all, you are admiral who was selected from the private sector through the method of world conscription. So you should know more about the suffering of ordinary people. The voice fell. Fujitora seemed to resonate with Luen, as if the justice he insisted on in his heart had been affirmed by Luen. The suffering of the people. Yes, Mr. Luen, my eyes have seen too much suffering. Been taught a lesson. I already know what to do. After saying this, however, Fujitora turned around and walked towards Weevil and Zephyr who were fighting. Step to step, while walking towards the two. Fujitora also slowly drew the saber from the crutch. Miss Ba Jin couldn't help narrowing his eyes when seeing this scene and asked. Fujitora, what do you want to do? Help Weevil kill Zephyr. Step to step, Fujitora still walked slowly, and he didn't respond to Miss Ba Jin at all. Kuzan saw this scene and couldn't help coming to Luen and then asked. President Luen, what is he going to do? You won't join forces with Weevil against Teacher Zephyr, will you? Hear Kuzan's inquiry. Luen said meaningfully. Kuzan. Justice in Fujitora's heart, but awakened earlier than you. Not far away, Zephyr once again swung the iron arm smasher and smashed it at Weevil, who also raised the naginata to block it. Boom. Just to see Zephyr stepped back, a mouthful of blood was already overflowing from his mouth. Asshole. Zephyr yelled angrily. He is not Weevil's opponent at all. He had slaughtered the pirates of the Big Mom pirate group before, and had consumed a lot of physical energy. In addition, Zephyr is old and weak, and the combat effectiveness is naturally not as good as when he was young. Boom. Weevil slashed again. Zephyr's mouth spouted another mouthful of blood. Listen to Mom's order. I am going to kill you. Then go kill others. Boom boom boom. Weevil's huge figure ran toward Zephyr again, every step he took as if the earth was shaking. Asshole. Zephyr dried the blood from the corners of his mouth to prepare the imprint. And just now, gravity knife tiger. Click. Only the sound of drawing a knife was heard, and at the same time, Fujitora's right hand was already holding the handle of the knife and slashing out. Boom. Weevil, who was originally running, only felt a huge gravity suddenly coming from his body. Boom. Weevil's feet fell suddenly, and his body winged directly to the ground. What? Fujitora, aren't you on my side? What are you attacking me for? Weevil, who fell to the ground, shouted loudly. Need time. Several people present were shocked. Miss Ba Jin exclaimed with a look of surprise on his face. Asshole Fujitora, what are you doing? Why attacked Weevil? Are you blind so you attacked the wrong person? Her eyes were already filled with consternation and fear. Miss Ba Jin never expected that Fujitora would slash at Weevil. It wasn't just Miss Barking who was shocked. The three Zoro who fell on the ground also suddenly shrank their pupils, and their eyes were filled with incomparable surprise. What? Marine Admiral actually shot Shichibukai. 2.6 How is this possible? Should they be teammates who started Buster Call together? Kuzan looked at this scene with amazement. What is going on here? President Luen. How did Fujitora attack Weevil? Only Luoen's expression did not change at all, as if he had expected Fujitora to do so. Finally, just listen to Fujitora righteously saying. I have heard of the original Marine Admiral Black Arm Zephyr. Since Edward, Weevil has slaughtered Marine and has killed countless people. Such a pirate becomes Shichibukai as if it is a blasphemous and disrespectful to justice. Even at the risk of being dismissed. The old man will never allow such pirates to continue to do evil. As Fujitora directly yelled Weevil's name, everyone was fully aware that Fujitora had not attacked the wrong person. Chapter 128 The Devil is Dead. The Buster Call is over. Advertise here. At this time, Zephyr couldn't help feeling full of emotions when he heard these words. Even he never imagined that Marine Admiral Fujitora would shoot Shichibukai's Weevil. Miss Ba Jin immediately threatened. Asshole Fujitora. What do you mean? If you shoot Shichibukai, do you know what the consequences will be? As a result, the world government has been provoked, and your admiral position must not be guaranteed. Quickly let go of Weevil. Listening to Miss Ba Jin's abuse. Fujitora immediately frowned slightly and pressed the long knife in her hand again. Boom. Even Miss Ba Jin fell directly to the ground, and the blood spilled out of his mouth, unable to speak anymore. As a mother, you instructed your son to do evil. How many Marines and people died because of your mother and son? So you can't let it go. Hear what Fujitora said. Miss Ba Jin has fully understood in her heart that Fujitora is not joking at all. Asshole 09. Puffy. Damn it. Miss Ba Jin spouted a mouthful of blood in his mouth again. Weevil, who had been suppressed on the ground, saw his mother injured, and immediately the blue veins on his forehead screamed in anger. Mother. What? You bastard. As my heart is already burning with anger. Weevil actually forcibly carried the gravity released by Fujitora and climbed up directly from the pit. Drink. But Fujitora yelled loudly. Gravity has increased again. Boom. Huh. I only saw that Miss Ba Jin's body could not bear this pressure, and his body was directly squashed. There is no more breath. Need time. Everyone present looked at Fujitora in surprise. Marine Admiral Fujitora actually shot the two pirates, Miss Barking and Weevil. In fact, Fujitora has long hated the so-called Shichibukai system of the world government. Obviously it is a pirate. But wearing the coat of world government is doing evil. Sand crocodile is like this. The same goes for Doflamingo. In Fujitora's view, the Shichibukai system has no meaning in this world. And this time, Weevil had already seen Miss Bajin's tragic death and immediately looked up to the sky and angered. Mother. What? Asshole. Even though his body was under tremendous gravity, he suddenly shook to the sky. Boom. And his back figure actually ran directly towards Fujitora. I am going to kill you. What? My mother. Ah. The naginata that had wrapped armament Haki slashed directly at Fujitora, and Fujitora immediately blocked it with a gravity knife. Kang. Both are real admiral level combat power, so this move is no different. Boom. Both Fujitora and Weevil were shocked at the same time, and then each backed dozens of steps away. Zephyr. Luen called out suddenly. Zephyr immediately understood and jumped high, and then the iron arm smasher in his hand slammed directly behind Weevil. Weevil was about to lift the knife to block it. But at this moment. Hell trip. I saw Fujitora instantly increase the gravity to the limit, directly crushing the ground that Weevil had suppressed, and even made Weevil suddenly feel that his actions were not so agile. Next moment. Boom. Only to see Zephyr hit Weevil's back with a punch, and Weevil's huge body had already flew out. Bang bang bang. Weevil's body rolled on the ground a few times before stopping. Puff. And a mouthful of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. I will kill you. I want to kill you. You guys. Oh. Weevil roared angrily. He jumped up again to kill Zephyr. Freezing time capsule. At this moment, Kuzan even made a move, and he released a cold air with a big wave of his hand. Weevil, who has a low IQ, doesn't even know how to dodge. What? Just for a moment. Weevil's body has been frozen, coupled with Fujitora's gravity pressure. The two admiral-level powerhouses took action and suppressed Weevil on the ground, unable to move at all. Seeing that both Kuzan and Fujitora are helping them control Weevil. Zephyr doesn't care too much. Weevil in front of him is his enemy. Immediately jumped up, and the iron arm pulverizer smashed directly into Weevil's head. Boom. There was a splash of blood on Weevil's head. Then the iron arm crusher directly grabbed Weevil's neck. Smash bunting. This is Zephyr's strongest move. I saw that he had pinched Weevil's neck, and the explosives in the iron arm smasher exploded. Boom. Need time. It's like a thunderbolt on a sunny day. Just look at Weevil's head that has exploded the sky with snowflakes. The huge headless body fell directly to the ground, already dead to death. With the combination of three admiral-level powerhouses, Weevil, who is already low in IQ, has no chance of winning at all. Thump. Seeing that his enemy has died, Zephyr's feud has also been avenged. He was sitting directly on the ground, tears in his eyes. As Zephyr of the original Marine Admiral, he never thought that the current Marine Admiral Fujitora would actually help him. Obviously, even Fujitora could not see that the world government would recruit Weevil, making him such a vicious pirate, the seven warlords of the sea. In line with the concept of the justice of the people as the real justice, Fujitora took the initiative. Weevil has been killed in battle 503. Fujitora also nodded contentedly. Then turned around and walked slowly towards the distance. Step to step, seeing Fujitora's back, Zephyr immediately shouted. Fujitora, you helped me kill Weevil. Marine and world government will punish you. Don't go back to Marine at all. Just like me, join the Hunters Guild, right? Kuzan also stepped forward to persuade. Yes, Fujitora. Since the world government has launched Buster Call. Finally, the real demon is dead. The Buster Call is over. The old man is Marine, and Weevil is the wicked big thief in the poor area. The voice fell. Marine is justified in dealing with pirates. You don't have to join the Hunters Guild. Luen did not speak. Obviously, the world government and the Hunters Guild are already at odds. Just stay here too. Fujitora walked slowly towards the distance again. I saw Fujitora first standing still and then slowly saying. The world government won't take me anything. As long as you have justice in your heart, no matter what your status is, you can carry out this justice. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Then he even left a sentence. I hope that when we see you next time, we will still not be enemies. Just looking at Fujitora's back. Chapter 129. It is up to us to establish this order. Advertise here. On the sea, 30 warships are still waiting. Many Marine soldiers have binoculars in their hands. In fact, they all saw the scene just now. However, these Marine soldiers only looked face to face and didn't say anything. Fujitora's figure jumped up, relying on her own ability to control herself to fly. Then steadily landed on the command ship. Then he made a big move. The Buster Call is over. The Marine fleet returns. Take action now. Hear what Fujitora said. The Marine soldiers couldn't help but smile. In fact, they have also heard about the Hunters Guild in the past few months. Naturally, they are also very reluctant to participate in this Buster Call operation. And this time, seeing that the vicious pirate Weevil had been killed, Fujitora Admiral calmly left the island and returned to the battleship. You don't have to guess to know. The Buster Call in Fujitora's mouth did not kill the 6 members of the Hunters Guild, but the fierce pirate Weevil and the pirate Miss Bajan. They naturally knew that they were Marine soldiers, and they had also heard of Zephyr Admiral's deeds back then. Even some Marine Vice Admiral present were Zephyr's apprentices. At this point, we saw that Weevil had died in battle. These Marine soldiers also knew that Teacher Zephyr had finally avenged him. After hearing Fujitora's order, the whole army listens to the order. End of Buster Call. Return to Marine headquarters. Following the command of a Marine colonel, the 30 Marine fleet immediately turned around and departed towards the distant waters. There is no real war with the Hunters Guild. This is also a good thing for the Marine soldiers in their presence. After all, most of the Marines present have experienced Marineford's top war. They have witnessed Luoen's incomparable strength. The meteorite half the size of Marineford, Shichibukai, the 3 Admiral, and even the old-time Garp and Sengoku 2 powerhouses, these people have almost played against Luen. It is enough to show the strength of Luen. Therefore Marine is naturally unwilling to become enemies with Luen. Now that Fujitora Admiral has ordered the return flight, they are naturally very happy in their hearts. On the island, Luen, Zephyr, and Kuzan have helped Zoro, Johnny, and Joseph stand up. They all stood on the shore and watched the Marine fleet slowly departing. Kuzan said thoughtfully, fortunately, this time it is Fujitora Admiral. Otherwise, if you change to another Admiral, I am afraid that you will not be able to avoid a battle with Marine. At that time there will be countless innocent Marine soldiers who will become the cannon fodder of the world government. Kuzan is not afraid of Buster Call. But he didn't want to see so many Marine soldiers die because of the Hunters Guild. To know, those soldiers who choose to join Marine, most of them also hold the idea of defending their hometown and promoting justice. Kuzan doesn't want to be an enemy with Marine. Of course Zephyr is not willing to be a real enemy to Marine. Luen nodded. He naturally understood Kuzan and Zephyr's considerations and then said. You two don't worry. The Hunters Guild will never slaughter those Marines who truly insist on justice. Marine soldiers like Fujitora who have the idea of justice, there must be many in Marine. Our guild will never kill innocent people indiscriminately. Hear what Luen said. Zephyr and Kuzan strengthened their conviction in their hearts, and joining the Hunters Guild was the most correct one. Paused. Kuzan couldn't help asking. President Luen. Since the world government has launched a Buster Call against us, then it means that the world government will definitely try its best to eradicate us. In its current form, the world government will definitely not let it go. Heard these words, Zephyr couldn't help but replied. Yes, President Luen. The world government and our Hunters Guild have reached the same level. They will never allow our guild to exist. The 3 Zoro nodded and wrinkled slightly. It seems that between the world government and our Hunters Guild, we can only choose one of the two. The world government will definitely target us again. They will never allow such a force to exist on the sea. The emergence of our hunter guild has greatly affected the rule of the world government. Paused. The eyes of Zephyr, Kuzan and Zoro nodded firmly towards Luen. See them like this. In fact, Luen also knew what he meant in his heart. Immediately his eyes wrinkled slightly and then he said in a deep voice. I know what you mean. The world government has made up its mind to eradicate our hunters guild. It seems that we can't just sit back and wait. Heard these words. A coldness flashed in the eyes of the Zoro trio and Kuzan Zephyr. Master. Directly oppose the Celestial Dragon's government. The Celestial Dragon's government shouldn't exist in this world at all. Since they want to destroy us, why don't we destroy them? President Luen, I support your decision. Yes, President Luen, we all support your decision. We will do what you say. Hear these words from everyone. In fact, Luen also knew very well in his heart that now he has indeed reached the point where he is on the same level as the world government. Finally, Luen couldn't help but slowly said. In fact, the world government is the creator of the order of this world, and this world also needs order to exist. So originally I only wanted to control the influence of the world government through the Hunters Guild. So once you decide to go to war with the world government, it means that the original order of the world will be destroyed. Then the world will definitely become more chaotic than it is now. Hear what Luen said. Kuzan and Zephyr couldn't help thinking for a while and nodded. President Luen thinks very correctly. This world needs the existence of order. If we rashly break this world order, I am afraid it will cause immeasurable consequences. At that time the world may become more less good and chaotic than it is now. Immediately afterwards, the Zoro trio said dismissively. Broken an order. Then just re-establish an order. We must not allow the Celestial Dragon's government to continue these atrocities. I think the government of Celestial Dragons must be overthrown, even if order is re-established. Hear what Zoro said. Zephyr and Kuzan can't help but praise. It makes sense. After breaking the order, just re-establish another order. Never let the world government go on doing so recklessly. Hear what everyone said. A golden light flashed in Luoen's eyes, and even a war spirit suddenly rose in his heart. Immediately waved his hand. Then he said proudly. Well said. Since this world needs the existence of order, grandson. Then it is up to us to establish this order. Chapter 130 Shake the Sea. Declare war on the world government. Advertise here. A few days later. The major forces on the sea have already shaken, and one after another big news has shaken the entire sea. 4 emperors' Big Mom died in battle. The Celestial Dragon's government is in danger. The Hunters Guild declares war. These big news. In just 2 or 3 days, the whole world was swept by thunder. There is no doubt that among these big news on the sea, the most notable is the declaration of war by the Hunters Guild against the Celestial Dragon's government. East Blue Guard Island. Numerous local residents gathered together, and their eyes were already full of horror at this time. Even countless people still can't believe it. This news is not a mistake, right? I can't believe it. The Hunter Guild created by Mr. Luen unexpectedly declared war with the Celestial Dragon's government. The local residents are already in a state of astonishment. They simply can't imagine. Mr. Luen, a bounty pig hunter who had always wanted to live a life of ease, would have heard the news of a declaration of war with the Celestial Dragon's government. This is simply incredible. The local residents couldn't even imagine it. What is Mr. Luen going to do? Does he want to lead the Hunters Guild to overthrow the government of Celestial Dragons? 503 inches. Shouldn't this be something that the Revolutionary Army can do? Maybe Mr. Luen has been forced on this road by the world government. The hearts of these residents have already felt extremely surprised. Because based on their knowledge of Luen, Mr. Luen should not make such a move. If it really declares war on the Celestial Dragon's government, there must be no doubt that it must have reached the point where it was compelling and had to be done. Alabasta. Inside the palace city, Nami, Princess Vivi, and Robin were all gathered together. Then the eyes of these 3 women showed even more surprising expressions. Master Luen, he actually declared war on the Celestial Dragon's government. My god. Paused. Robin couldn't help but wrinkle his eyes slightly and then analyzed. Formally declare war on Celestial Dragons. I'm afraid that even the Revolutionary Army wouldn't dare to do this for the time being, right? And based on the latest news, the Hunter Guild created by Lord Luen has only 6 people. Just 6 people are going to declare war on the Celestial Dragon's government. When the 3 of them heard the news, they couldn't believe their eyes. He even thought that the news reports on the sea were wrong. Step to step. Just at this time, Cobra, King of Alabasta, entered the main hall, and then walked towards the 3 of Princess Vivi. Father. What else Princess Vivi wanted to say? King Cobra beckoned and said solemnly. All right. This king has heard about it all. Luen and his 3 apprentices are all benefactors of our country. I didn't expect them to declare war on the Celestial Dragon's government now. Immediately afterwards, Princess Vivi couldn't help asking again. Father, Master Luen has openly declared war with the world government. Unexpectedly, in just over 2 months, this world will become such a pattern. Paused. Cobra's eyes wrinkled slightly and analyzed. Since the Hunters Guild has declared war on the world government, it means one thing. Between the Hunters Guild and the world government, there will be only one left. The turbulence in this world is really changing rapidly. It seems that this world really needs to recreate a new order. Grand Line Baldigo. The high-level cadres of the Revolutionary Army gathered together. Dorag, Sabo, Shemale King Ivan, AJCG, Cove, 4 commanders and so on. The expressions of these people are very serious at this time. Finally, it was Dorag who spoke first. Unexpectedly. The Hunters Guild took the lead in declaring war against the world government. Our Revolutionary Army has been operating underground, and now it seems ashamed. This Hunters Guild, which has only been established for more than 2 months, has surpassed the influence of our Revolutionary Army for more than a decade. He sighed heavily. It has been more than 10 or 20 years since the founding of the Revolutionary Army. It has always been their ultimate goal to overthrow the world government. But now, a Hunters Guild that has only been established for more than 2 months dare to openly declare war with the world government and try to overthrow the world government. This is something that the Revolutionary Army has not yet been able to do. Next, Ivankov couldn't help asking, that guy Luen. Declare war directly to the world government. Such a move is definitely enough to affect the pattern of the world in the future. I think our Revolutionary Army can also take this opportunity to do something. Hear Ivankov's proposal. Sabo also nodded and couldn't help speaking. Today's Revolutionary Army has already decided. Just take this opportunity to join forces with the Hunters Guild to completely eradicate the Celestial Dragon's government. Now that the Hunters Guild has declared war with the world government, then our Revolutionary Army can't be so silent anymore. A light flashed in Dorag's eyes at the same time. Although this time it is not our Revolutionary Army that took the initiative to declare war on the world government. I will leave for the hunting island tomorrow to discuss the cooperation between the Revolutionary Army and the Hunters Guild with Luen. You guys make a lot of sense. Hear the suggestions of the high levels present. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. The heads of other military districts on the scene also nodded in agreement and said, yes, Mr. Dorag. Yes, Mr. Dorag. I think the Hunters Guild will not reject the combat power of the army, right? Now that the Hunters Guild has declared war with the world government, our Revolutionary Army can also cooperate with them. But our goal is also to overthrow the world government. Under the joint hands of the Hunters Guild and our Revolutionary Army, it will surely be able to successfully overthrow the rule of the world government. Since Luen was unwilling to join the forces of our Revolutionary Army, then our Revolutionary Army can seize this opportunity to cooperate with the Hunters Guild. Chapter 131 Blackbeard who stole a house frantically. Advertise here. New World. An island. The cadres of the Red Pirate Group still gathered together. Cadres have expressed their opinions. The Hunters Guild has only been established for more than 2 months, dare to openly war with the world government. And Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors on the sea, was also killed by him. This fellow Luen is a bit scary. It is said that because the world government issued a buster call to the Hunters Guild, the Hunters Guild had to go to war with the world government. Immediately afterwards, Ben Beckman couldn't help narrowing his eyes and then said in a deep voice. Although the Hunters Guild has only 6 members headed by Luen. The strongest bounty hunter Luen, former Marine Admiral Aokiji Kuzan, former Marine Admiral Black Arm Zephyr, 3 swordsmen Zoro, Sword Saint Johnny, Sword God Joseph. Although it's just these 6 members. But there is no doubt that the strength of this Hunter Guild has definitely surpassed the strength of a 4 Emperors pirate group. It can even be said that the strength of a Hunters Guild is equivalent to that of 2 4 Emperors pirate groups. Hear Ben Beckman's analysis. The cadres present couldn't help being shocked, and nodded in response after thinking about it. The Hunters Guild that has been established for more than 2 months is equivalent to 2 4 Emperors pirate groups. Actually, think about it now. After all, even the Big Mom pirate group has been destroyed, and it is said that Big Mom and Kaido joined forces, and the 2 4 Emperors joined forces and did not kill Luen. The strength of this guy is terribly strong. The cadres present once again looked at the red-haired Shanks. Immediately, I couldn't help but talk again and again. Now that the Hunters Guild has openly declared war with the world government, one of them must disappear in this world. Next, the world will usher in an unprecedented shock. Marine, pirates, Revolutionary Army, no one can survive this shock. I heard the sighs of the cadres. Shanks couldn't help frowning and then slowly replied. That's right. This war between the Hunters Guild and the world government. No one at sea can be alone. Even our pirate group. I'm afraid I have to think of a way to deal with the next great turmoil in the world. New World. IWC. Run. Run. The Blackbeard pirates are here. We will all be killed. Run away. Countless people on the street were shouting and fleeing frantically. Bang bang bang. Boom boom. Fires and explosions were heard from the streets one after another. Van Oka fired several shots with a cannon in his hand. Many residents who were fleeing were shot and killed by him. Beryl Joet looked at a giant bazooka in his hand, and the buildings on the street were turned into a sea of flames with a bang. Yes, all the cadres of the Blackbeard pirate group have come to the world to carry out the home-stealing plan. Not only did they get the text of the history of the Big Mom pirate group, they also burned, killed, and looted the island. The entire nations have turned into a sea of flames. Step to step, with the sound of the footsteps of the family. Blackbeard Edward Teach, Rain Shiryu, Big Keg, and other members of the pirate group walked on the street. Pedestrians on the streets were killed, wounded, and injured, and many residents have fled the country. The look of their group of people can be described as extremely arrogant. Especially Blackbeard Teach laughed loudly. Thief, ha 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 ha. The historical text of Big Mom Laozi has got it. To be honest, I really want to thank that kid Luen. Thief, ha 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 ha. His demeanor can be described as extremely arrogant. Shiryu of Rain on the side spit out a smoke ring and said in harmony. Oh ha ha ha, it seems that joining your pirate group is the most correct choice. I got the history text of the Big Mom pirate group without any effort. I am looking forward to our next actions. Ah ha 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 ha. Shiryu also showed a sorrowful smile. Pizarro also laughed up to the sky. Wow ha 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 ha. Blackbeard, your trick is really admirable to me. I won't take the position of the captain from you. Boom boom. San Juan, the huge body of the evil wolf, bowed from side to side, and just two fists casually destroyed a row of buildings on the street. It's so cool to kill. Zero, look for flowers. Wow ha 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 ha. Captain Teach, thank you for releasing me from Impel Down. I can finally kill it. Wow ha 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 ha. San Juan's evil wolf was originally a vicious big pirate, but today's massacre in all nations has greatly satisfied his desire for destruction. Shinigami Poison Q was lying on the camel, holding a newspaper in his hand, and then dyingly said to Blackbeard. Captain Blackbeard, the Hunters Guild has openly declared war with the world government. But no matter which side wins in the end, it is a good thing for our Blackbeard pirates. Two dogs fight, play off. Being a fisherman is what we do best. Point 0. Hear the words of Poison Q. A chill flashed in Blackbeard's eyes and then slowly said. Yeah, you make sense. If both the Hunters Guild and the world government are destroyed. This is the biggest happy event for our pirate group. Thief ha 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 ha. Paused. Thief ha 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 ha. For example, the Blackbeard pirate banner has 3 white skulls, and Marco said that Blackbeard's body is different from ordinary people. The maximum capacity of Blackbeard's body is the ability of 3 fruits. At that time, whether it is the Hunters Guild or the so-called world government, it can only be defeated by Laozi. So the ability to have 3 fruits is not too much, right? Today Blackbeard has the strongest Logia dark fruit, and also has the strongest Paramesha, shock fruit. Therefore, the author speculates that it should be no problem for Blackbeard to have the ability of 3 fruits alone. Deficit. Although Oda did not say clearly. In fact, there are some evidences and speculations. P.S. But just let Laozi get another fruit. Then even Luen is definitely not Laozi's opponent. Blackbeard said arrogantly. After all, Blackbeard must be one of the big bosses in the original book. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. But this book defaults that Blackbeard can have 3 fruit abilities. What he wants most now is the zone fruit ability, so that he can develop his strength to the most extreme state. Chapter 132 Great Changes in the Times. Ask Master Yim. Advertise here. New World. Marine Headquarters. G1. Inside the Marshal's office, Akainu was already frowning and angry, and Fujitora was also serious when standing at the desk. Fujitora, you fellow, help Zephyr kill Weevil of 7 warlords of the sea. If it weren't for the Hunters Guild had officially declared war with the world government. The world government is in need of admiral-level combat power. Otherwise, the world government will definitely impel you into Impel Down and imprison you. Hear what Akainu said. Fujitora couldn't help but also said with a serious face. Sakazuki, you should understand this truth. 7 warlords of the sea, composed of pirates, is simply the biggest joke of the world government. It is a blasphemy and disrespect for justice. The world government was supposed to be a symbol of justice, but it recruited the most vicious pirates as helpers of justice. What do you think this is? Obviously, Fujitora hates the existence of 507, 7 warlords of the sea. Even now he still wants to ban the position of 7 warlords of the sea. Akainu sighed heavily, then shook his head and said nothing. In fact, he also knew this in his heart, soliciting evil pirates as a helper of justice. This is indeed the most absurd thing in the world. Even Akainu was very opposed to the establishment of Shichibukai by the world government. Obviously it is the world government that represents justice. But want to ask those big pirates who represent evil to be helpers. No doubt, the establishment of 7 warlords of the sea is indeed the worst decision made by the world government. Plus the past 2 months. As members of 7 warlords of the sea, accidents happened one after another. Sand Crocodile seeks power to usurp the throne. Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo squeezes the people. This further confirms from all aspects that the establishment of 7 warlords of the sea is simply a big joke. It also makes the people's hearts more disappointed with the world government. One goes down and the other goes up. The Hunters Guild, which has been hunting pirates recently, has naturally gained the support of many ordinary people. It is precisely because of the growing influence of the Hunters Guild that the Celestial Dragon's government feels precarious. Never mind, Akainu didn't want to say any more. In fact, he also disliked some behaviors of Celestial Dragons very much, but because of his position as Marine, he could only endure and not attack. Step to step, Fujitora turned and left the marshal's office. Akainu sighed heavily, and his eyes were full of vicissitudes and helplessness. Hunters Guild. That guy Luen has led the crowd and officially declared war with the world government. It seems that Marine can't avoid it. Only after he officially became Marine's marshal did Akainu know how helpless it was to sit in this position. Although Akainu is now the marshal of Marine's highest position, in fact he still has to obey the orders of the world government. Now Akainu has understood. How did Marshal Sengoku feel like sitting in this position? Thinking in my heart. Wow ha ha ha, with a hearty sound. Boom. The office door opened. I only saw the retired hero Garp and the former Marine Marshal Sengoku, who had already entered the office. Wow ha 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 ha. Garp laughed loudly. Sakazuki, you kid, looking at your frown, you should be worried about the latest things, right? Taste. Click. Sengoku walked slowly to Akainu with a bag of donuts in his hand, and then laughed. Wow ha 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 ha. Sakazuki, you finally understand my distress back then. Marshal is not so good. Wow ha 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 ha. Both Garp and Sengoku laughed. And Sakazuki is already a black line. Paused. Garp said again. I heard that the Hunters Guild created by Luen has declared war with the world government. It seems that Marine also avoids coming to join this war. Sakazuki. Immediately. Sengoku on the side couldn't help but replied. If the world government did not launch a buster call to the Hunters Guild, it might not have caused a situation like this. Now this war is absolutely unavoidable. I just hope that some innocent casualties can be reduced. When the world government wanted to launch buster call, both Garp and Sengoku felt that this was an extremely wrong decision. Now it really happened. The Hunters Guild declared war directly with the world government, which will undoubtedly make the world government and Marine feel extremely headache. Akainu Sakazuki sighed heavily. Although Akainu hates pirates very much, he even wants to wipe out all the pirates in this world. But for the Hunters Guild, Akainu has no disgust for Luen at all. What's more, Akainu had already witnessed Luen's extremely powerful strength in the war on the top of Marineford. Marine doesn't want to face an enemy like Luen again. Hear the advice of Garp and Sengoku. Akainu couldn't help narrowing his eyes, then stood up and said. You two are right. In this war with the Hunters Guild, innocent Marine soldiers must never be sacrificed. Marine's power should be used against pirates. At this time, Akainu had a decision in his mind. Mariajoy, the sacred place of the Red Line. 5 elders wrinkled slightly and looked very ugly. The idiot Fujitora helped Zephyr kill Weevil and claimed that the existence of 7 warlords of the sea insulted the name of justice. If it weren't for the imminent war, the world government needs admiral-level combat power, otherwise we must impel such fools as Fujitora into impel down. But at this point, Luen even dared to declare war directly against our world government. It seems that the Hunters Guild has decided to fight against the world government. So our top priority is to find a way to solve this biggest problem. 5 elders looked at each other and sighed. Then the old man in black couldn't help saying. Unexpectedly, Luen was originally only East Blue's bounty hunter, but now it has become the #1 enemy of the world government. I am afraid that even the Dorag of the Revolutionary Army is not as threatening as Luen to our world government. After saying this, the other 5 elders couldn't help frowning and commenting. Since we talked about the Revolutionary Army, now the Hunters Guild has openly declared war with the world government. It seems that the Revolutionary Army will definitely take this opportunity to cooperate with the Hunters Guild. After all, the goal of the Revolutionary Army has always been to overthrow our world government. Everyone nodded. The old man in black summed up again. The other 5 elders also thought of the past. 2.6 This war is definitely not just a war between the Hunters Guild and our world government. Thought of this, but it also blatantly provoked the world government to try to obliterate all celestial dragons, thus becoming the king of the world. And decided to meet Sama, the supreme king of celestial dragons. The world government has fallen into an unprecedented crisis. Yes, that's right. Immediately afterwards, 5 elders have all got up. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. So openly provoking the world government, it reminds me of the pirate group 38 years ago. Sure enough, only Yimu can lead the world government through this difficult time. Hearing the words of the old man in black, unprecedented changes in the world are coming. Marine, pirates, Revolutionary Army and other forces may also join in. Once Rock's pirate, it seems that I can only ask Master Yim for his decision. Everyone present sighed heavily. Chapter 133 The World's Most Murderous Criminal. A reward of tens of billions of Baileys. Advertise here. The news of the death of one of the 4 emperors, Big Mom, did not seem to cause much sensation. As if Big Mom died in Luoen's hands, this is a normal thing. It is true. The powerful strength of Luen may already be deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. At the beginning, he defeated Mihawk, the world's #1 swordsman, Hawkeye in East Blue. Later, the legendary big pirate Golden Lion Shiki. Even Luen went alone to Marineford, the headquarters of Marineford. Fight Kaido, the beast known as the King of Heads-Ups. There is also Douglas Bullet who beheaded the so-called descendants of the devil. And many more. These many deeds have fully proved that Luen possesses incomparable strength. There are even rumors among the people. The single king of the world today should be Luen, the president of the Hunters Guild. If you think about it, this is indeed the case. Even Kaido, known as the undead singled king, was defeated by Luen. There is no doubt that Lueno is the true singled king. Therefore, the Big Mom pirate group was destroyed, and Big Mom Charlotte Linlin was killed by Luen. The news did not cause much sensation. It's the news that the Hunters Guild declared war on the world government, which has already caused a huge response at sea. Countless ordinary people, countless pirates, and people of various identities were greatly shocked by this news. Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, has been killed again. Sure enough, the Hunters Guild is the real justice in this world. The Celestial Dragon's government is simply too damn it. The Celestial Dragon's government actually wants to eliminate the Hunters Guild. 09 Sand Crocodile and Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo, these 2 are the 7 warlords of the sea that belong to the world government, but these 2 pirates are aggressively oppressing and persecuting the people. There is no doubt that the Celestial Dragon's government is false justice. The Hunters Guild is the real justice. Such remarks are beginning to circulate everywhere in the world, and many people are very supportive of the Hunters Guild. No doubt, today's Hunters Guild has been regarded as popular. To know, since the Hunters Guild was founded, although it has only been more than 2 months. But the members of the Hunters Guild killed all the pirates. The star of Big Mom Pirates, Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo, Douglas Bullet, Big Mom Charlotte Linlin. Even before the establishment of the Hunters Guild. Zoro's apprentices also killed the celestial dragons of Zhang Domineering. All these actions have won the goodwill of the common people, and the common people have truly unparalleled support for the Hunters Guild. Therefore, although the Hunters Guild has publicly declared war on the world government this time. But most of the common people support the Hunters Association. Celestial dragons should have stepped down long ago, those showy domineering guys. This world needs real justice, and only the Hunters Guild can bring us real justice. So we all support the Hunters Guild. Such remarks are spreading presumptuously on this sea. The Hunters Guild declared war against the world government, and this news has undoubtedly shaken the entire world. New World Hunting Island. Even Luen did not expect that the news that he published a declaration of war on the world government would have such a big response. It seems that this is indeed the case, and the influence of the Hunters Guild has been greatly improved in the world. Even now, the voice of the Hunters Guild has overshadowed the world government. About 10 days have passed since the battle with the Big Mom Pirates. The 3 Zoro have recovered from their injuries. In the previous battle with the Big Mom Pirate group, it was the tenacity and unwillingness of the Zoro trio to give in to the powerful will that made the 3 of them survive to master Luen to rescue them. And after these days, under Luen's personal guidance, the 3 of them have completed their practice of the top cheats that Luen handed over to them. In other words, now the Zoro trio have reached 100% progress in the level of cultivation of the top cheats. Their strength has been greatly improved in a qualitative leap. Zoro, Johnny, Joseph. Now your swordsmanship and hockey have reached the top level, and they are fully worthy of the titles of your original fame. The next thing you need to do is to fully integrate your abilities. The top level is indeed only 1 step away from the peak level, but this step is the most difficult to cross. Luen said slowly. The highest cheats are indeed only top cheats, and there is no so-called peak cheats. If you want to reach the peak level of strength, then the 3 of Zoro need to practice and comprehend by themselves. Hear the master's teaching. The 3 of Zoro knelt on the ground and were grateful. Thank you, master, for your teaching. If there is no master to help us, we will never have such a strong strength in just 2 months. Thank you, master. While talking, the 3 Zoro bowed their heads to Luen again. It is true. Within 2 months, the 3 of them were able to rise to the top of the sea. Even the top cadres who were crushed by the 4 emperors were not their opponents. It is enough to see how fast this kind of cultivation speed is. Therefore, the Zoro 3 are extremely grateful to Luen from the bottom of their hearts. At first, they rescued the 3 criminals who killed celestial dragons in Marineford, even at the expense of the world government. 10 days ago, Luen rescued the dying Zoro 3 in the hands of Big Mom, and once again gave them hope of life. Saved their lives twice and taught them such a powerful strength. In the hearts of the Zoro trio. Although Luen's age is only 4 or 5 years older than them, they are equivalent to the existence of elders. My heart is naturally extremely respectful to master. Ta. Kuzan never walked towards Luen from a distance, holding a copy of the latest newspaper in his hand. Then jokingly said to Luen, "Ah la, President Luen. Since we officially declared war on the world government. The world government also responded to us." While talking, Kuzan also passed the newspaper in his hand. 6 chapters of the reward order were posted on the newspaper. Zephyr, former Admiral of Marine, current member of the Hunters Guild. Reward, 3 billion Baileys. Kuzan. Marine former admiral, current member of the Hunters Guild. Reward. 3 billion Baileys. The two original Marine Admiral are offering a reward of 3 billion Baileys, which is enough to show that the world government also attaches great importance to them. Then there is the reward order of the Zoro trio. Zoro. East Blue Bounty Hunter, currently a member of the Hunters Guild. Reward. 2 billion Baileys. Johnny. East Blue Bounty Hunter, currently a member of the Hunters Guild. Reward. 2 billion Baileys. Joseph. East Blue Bounty Hunter, currently a member of the Hunters Guild. Reward. 2 billion Baileys. It can be seen that the three Zoro are classified as world-class wanted criminals with 2 billion Baileys. 2 billion Baileys are also very high, which can be said to be second only to the bounty of the four emperors. And there is no doubt that the most interesting. It is Luoen's reward order. Luen, the president of the Hunters Guild, the world's most vicious criminal. Reward. 10 billion Baileys. When seeing Luoen's offer of reward, everyone present couldn't help being shocked. The amount of the bounty represents the degree of harm to the person. No doubt, in the heart of the 507 government of the world, Luen must be the most dangerous. What four emperors, what one piece? In front of Luoen's bounty, it is not enough to see. The Zoro trio were overjoyed and said, Master, it turned out to be 10 billion Pele. Your bounty for one person is equal to the sum of the bounty for the 5 of us. The bounty for 6 people in our Hunters Guild is 20 billion Baileys. It is enough to prove that the world government has listed us as extremely dangerous. The 3 of them were so excited. Even Kuzan couldn't help but said in a tongue-in-cheek. Ah la la, remember that the bounty of the One Piece King Gordy Roger was only about 5.5 billion Baileys. But President Luen, your bounty is as high as 10 billion Baileys. This is simply an unprecedented reward. Only Luen said indifferently. Next, be prepared. Zephyr also came over and couldn't help but jokingly said. Thank you for reading this story at mtlarchive.com. Your support enables us to keep the site running. Finally everyone looked at Luen. Hear what Luen said. These 6 reward orders only represent that the world government has officially declared war on us. Step to step. This is the first time my old fellow has been offered a reward. Ha 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 ha. Are you offering a reward to everyone in our Hunter Guild? It seems that the world government is determined to deal with us. Today's reward is no longer meaningful. A trace of determination flashed in the eyes of the 5 of them. They absolutely and must support Luoen's decision. It's about to start between our Hunters Guild and the world government. Now that he has decided to declare war with the world government, Luen will naturally spare no effort to prepare for this goal. A war that is truly enough to shake the world's situation. Zephyr, Kuzan, Zoro, Johnny, Joseph. Chapter 134 Crisis. Pluton is coming. Advertise here. At the same time, on the sea less than 50 miles away from the hunting island. The battleship with the flag of Beast's pirates was moving slowly on the surface of the sea. A pirate ran over to report to Kaido. Master Kaido. According to ours, you only need to get close to the hunting island about 10 miles away. It will be able to cover the entire hunting island completely within Pluton's attack range. And it only takes Pluton to destroy the entire island, and even all the creatures on the island. After hearing the news, a satisfied look appeared in Kaido's eyes. Humph. Luen, that bastard. Now his name is spreading everywhere on the sea. Today Laozi will use the Pluton battleship, the highest masterpiece that has taken 28 years, to completely wipe him out of this world. A coldness flashed in Kaido's eyes. Pluton is one of the 3 legendary ancient weapons, and it is also the biggest purpose of Kaido's occupation of Wano Kuni in the 28 years. It took him 28 years and a lot of effort to build this, Pluton. Of course it is also the only Pluton battleship in the world. Pluton battleship. But even the power that the world government wants, because it is indeed the power that can destroy the world. Immediately afterwards, Kaido immediately ordered. Move quickly toward the hunting island. I can't wait to eliminate Luen. You know, I owed Linlin a favor back then, and now Linlin has been killed by Luen. So Laozi must avenge her. After hearing Kaido's command, the pirate immediately bowed and replied. Yes. Master Kaido, conjecture based on our speed. You can reach the hunting island 10 miles away in half an hour. After answering, the pirate left immediately. Both Flame Embers and Plague Quinn came up. Master Kaido, now the Hunters Guild established by Luen has officially declared war with the world government. Are we really going to go to war with the Hunters Guild at this time? Why don't we wait until the Hunters Guild and the world government are both defeated, and then we take the opportunity to reap the benefits of the fishermen? The 2 big billboards raised these doubts in their hearts. But Kaido categorically said, of course Luen will be slaughtered immediately. Just own this Pluton battleship. What is Luen? What is world government? Even if Laozi uses it to dominate the world, there is no problem. Kaido's tone was full of arrogance and arrogance. Pluton is the legendary ancient weapon, and it truly possesses the power to destroy the world. Hear what Kaido said. Yan Calamity Ember and Quinn stopped persuading anything and nodded in agreement. Master Kaido makes sense. Pluton, the strongest battleship in the world, is in our hands, and indeed has the capital to dominate the world. We can kill Luen first, and then slaughter all the world palace. More than dominating a new world. At that time we can conquer the entire Grand Line, and then rule the four seas. It won't be impossible for Kaido-sama to become the king of the world at that time. The voice fell. Kaido's mind remembered the scene 38 years ago. The captain of Kaido Rocks also wanted to become the king of the world, as the ultimate goal. Then he muttered to himself. Become the king of the world. The Captain Rocks back then also wanted to become the king of the world, but his ambition has been shattered. But his ambition will be inherited by me now. Ahahahahaha. Laozi doesn't just want to be the One Piece, Laozi is the man who wants to be the king of the world. His smile can be said to be extremely frantic and arrogant. And just now, boom boom boom, another pirate came and kneeled in front of Kaido respectfully. Master Kaido, there are important things to report. The Cake Island World of Nations, led by the Big Mom pirate group, has been occupied by the Blackbeard pirate group. The voice fell. Kaido suddenly frowned slightly and a fierce look appeared under his eyes. What did you say? The Blackbeard pirates have occupied the nations ruled by Luen. Those damn bastards. He even showed an angry expression of gritted teeth. Because in Kaido's heart before, he had never put Blackbeard in his eyes. Yan Calamity Jin couldn't help saying. Master Kaido. Now the Big Mom pirate group has been destroyed. It's very normal for Wangguo to be stolen by Blackbeard. After we get rid of Luen first, we can also destroy the Blackbeard pirates. Quinn on the side echoed. At that time, it will not only be the Blackbeard pirates, we can even use Pluton to eliminate Red Hair pirates. At that time, the entire new world will only be the Emperor Kaido-sama. No, by then Kaido-sama is already at the apex point of the pirate, there will be no emperor in this world, so it should be called the Pirate King, right? E's wrong. It should be the king of the world. I heard Quinn's words like this. Kaido's eyes showed a hint of coldness and then he waved his hand Li's Jiao. Okay, what you all said makes sense. After eliminating Luen, just wipe out Red Hair pirates and Blackbeard pirates. Laozi wants to become the true king of the world. Woo-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. No doubt. Kaido has already doubled his confidence after acquiring Pluton, although he knows he cannot defeat Luen with his own strength. The title of Heads-Up King no longer exists. But now he has the strongest masterpiece ancient weapon Pluton. He wants to avenge Charlotte Linlin. He wants to wash away the shame for himself. He even wanted to destroy the other four emperors' pirate group, even the world government. Thus becoming the king of this world. Enough to be visible. Kaido is actually a very ambitious person. Chapter 135 I won't let you run away again today. Advertise here. The world government offered Luen a reward of 10 billion Baileys. No doubt. The existence of Luen has even surpassed the danger of the Revolutionary Army, and has become the world's biggest enemy in the eyes of the government. And once this unprecedented reward order of 10 billion is issued, that means that the world government swears to eliminate Luen. This is a war between two forces, and the direction of this war is bound to greatly affect the situation of the entire world. Or to subvert the situation of this world. It's just that no one in the world thought of it. The person who is about to disrupt this world is not a pirate or marine, but a bounty hunter from East Blue Hunting Island. Luen put down the newspaper in his hand and immediately analyzed to everyone. Although our Hunters Guild is currently only 6 people. But this war with the world government does not mean that there are only 6 people on our side. According to my estimate, after the Revolutionary Army learned of the news that we declared war with the world government, they should also take action. After all, the goals of the Revolutionary Army and ours are, at least so far, the same. Hear what Luen said. Kuzan and Zephyr also nodded in agreement. Yes, 507 inches. The Revolutionary Army has always wanted to overthrow the world government. They will definitely come to us for cooperation and even join us. At that time, our Hunter Guild will definitely grow again. The odds of winning against the world government will be even greater. The Zoro 3 stood aside and nodded respectfully. Luen also smiled at the crowd, first put down the newspaper in his hand, and suddenly glanced into the distance. Then he couldn't help but jokingly said with a smile at the corner of his eyes. That guy Kaido, you still don't give up. It's really interesting. Eyes closed and opened. His eyes turned into purple swirling Rinnegan again, and the blue-violet giant Susanoo opened instantly. After more than 2 months, Luen has become more proficient in the use of Rinnegan, and many of Rinnegan's abilities are being gradually developed by him. After opening Susanoo, everyone hadn't even realized what was going on, so they couldn't help asking. President Luen, you said Kaido still doesn't give up. Is he here again? AJCG. This bastard guy. Their observation Hawkeye did not directly capture the beast's pirates attack, so obviously their observation Hawkeye is worse than Luen. Smiled. Luen said to Kuzan and others dismissively. I'll take care of it. Since he wants to trouble me over and over again. Then this time he will be completely resolved. Boom. Then Susanoo flew directly to the front. Under the observation Hawkeye of Luen, he has captured the giant pirate ship approaching the hunting island in the distance. Kaido is the man on the ship who has a violent breath. There are still more than 10 miles away from the hunting island. Pluton battleship. Kaido stood proudly on the deck, a gloomy coldness in his eyes. The closer he gets to the hunting island, the more he can feel his inner excitement. This ancient weapon Pluton battleship at the foot. It took 28 years of hard work, made with countless sea stones and various special materials. The reason why Kaido has been occupying Wano Kuni for the past 28 years is because Wano Kuni is rich in sea stone, the hardest substance in the world. It is also because the materials are so rare that it may be difficult to make a second Pluton in this world. Thinking in my heart. Suddenly, Yan Disaster Cinder immediately reminded. Master Kaido, look at it, something in the sky is approaching us. Kaido had already reacted at this moment, and then raised his head and looked into the sky. There was a blue-purple giant flying towards the Pluton battleship in the sky. When he saw the blue-violet giant with wings on his back, Kaido's heart suddenly tightened inexplicably. Luen. He has been scared away twice by Luen. Kaido, who claims to be immortal, always pretends to say, but please die. At this time, when he heard the name, Luen, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. In front of the world government and even Marine or the pirates, Kaido dared to pretend to be forced to speak of himself but begged to die. Because Kaido knows that other people cannot kill himself. But now in front of Luen, Kaido doesn't dare to pretend to say anything anymore, but he is begging to die. Because Kaido also knows this man, Luen, he is absolutely capable of killing himself. Master Kaido suddenly saw the cold sweat on Kaido's forehead. Yan Calamity Jin immediately reminded. At this time Kaido had already recovered, and even his expression Wei said coldly. Jin, you go down to make arrangements. Since the bastard Luen has come to the door. Then let's just use Pluton to wipe out this guy. Hear Kaido's command. Yan Calamity Jin immediately agreed, and then turned and walked to the control room to command the pirates. Everyone prepares. Today's battle must eradicate Luen. Avenge Jack. The voice fell. Oh, avenge for Master Jack. Kill Luen. Let him taste the power of Pluton. The Pirates of Beasts pirates immediately took action, and each division of labor was ready. And in the sky, Luen has hovered in the sky. Only dang dang. After hearing only a few mechanical noises, the turret of the giant battleship on the sea has aimed at Susanoo in the sky. Luen looked towards the giant battleship on the sea. The fort on the battleship was as black as ink, and the muzzle was more than 10 meters in diameter. Just looking at this huge battleship, Luen could feel an extremely heavy aura. This giant battleship is not easy. Such a thought came up in Luen's mind. But he didn't care, his eyes fixed on Kaido who was standing on the deck. Kaido, you have run away twice in my hands, and today you still came to me without giving up. I won't let you run away again today.